Amidst the deafening cheers of thousands of spectators in the studio, the host's joyful voice rang out steadily. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Tens of thousands of players, hundreds of brutal battlefields, and a series of legendary comebacks, surviving all adversity and fierce competition. The sole champion standing until the very last second. She didn't flinch at all. Instead of backing down, she confronted it head-on, and instead of hesitating, she charged straight forward. The host narrowed his eyes at the scoreboard, took a deep breath, and shouted excitedly. And finally, she carved a legend out of virtual reality and into the real world. Everyone, remember this moment. The first season champion of the streamer tournament, player Shin Hae-in. Reflexes faster than a blink, instincts far surpassing mere accuracy, and an unprecedented physique that no one could ever replicate. With a sublimely scripted delivery, the host effortlessly drove the audience's emotions to new heights. She has transcended the boundaries of a regular gamer to become a living legend. And player Shin Hae-in will now close out her journey on this stage to prepare for her debut in the professional arena. That's right, who will take over this supreme glory in the upcoming season. 6 years later, in a luxurious high-rise building located right in the heart of a bustling district. The reception area was somehow even more crowded than usual. Yet the spacious research lab maintained its inherent silence, allowing the scientists to focus intently on their work. Suddenly, a large mechanical cocoon popped open. The man lying inside opened his eyes only to hear a gentle, echoing greeting whispered in his ear. "How do you feel?" Jihai looked excitedly at his dazed expression and continued. "It's been a long time since you last played a game, hasn't it?" Seo Jun waited for her to finish before immediately replying. "It really is a lot less dizzying than before. My body also feels significantly lighter." A soft sigh escaped his lips, making Jihai burst into laughter naturally. Yet she didn't forget her business and went straight to the point she had prepared to discuss. "Can you come over here for a moment? This new generation capsule integrates all of our cutting-edge technology to optimize performance. Thanks to that, even people with physical disabilities can experience it smoothly. Of course, for someone with a low synchronization rate like Seo Jun, as long as you play within the prescribed time limit, you won't encounter any issues." Hearing this, he immediately raised his head and asked, "How much does this model cost?" His blunt question made Jihai hesitate for a few seconds. "Well, that," before enthusiastically raising her hand to announce the price of 100 million won. The staggering figure left Seo Jun completely frozen. 100 million won. While Jihai smiled awkwardly, wondering if that price was too much for him to handle, he was busy pondering his remaining bank balance and let out a sigh. Balance insufficient, current total assets, 458 won. Seeing the devastated look on his face, Jihai didn't dare drag out the awkward silence any longer and spoke up. "That's why I have this special offer for you, Seo Jun. Want to hear it?" Seo Jun slowly stepped into the VR capsule, a device that satisfies the modern generation's desires by bringing virtual reality into countless different industries. But among them, the field that drove people the craziest was undoubtedly. The capsule quickly transferred Seo Jun's consciousness straight to the dragon's head for the ultimate knockout blow. The gigantic dragon crashed heavily to the ground, leaving Seo Jun a chance to let out a sigh. Before landing on the ground, perhaps due to its ability to stimulate the nervous system of both players and spectators alike, video games have always been the field that everyone loves the most. With a breathtaking realism that makes people unable to believe they are in a virtual world, the moment the system begins dropping prompts, players unleash incredibly dazzling skills. Seo Jun was naturally drawn into that world just like that, and the entire world erupted with a virtual reality gaming craze. However, Seo Jun had passed outright inside the capsule before even a year had passed, all because the synchronization rate required to move like in real life within the virtual world was vastly lower than the average, standing at a mere 10%. That unpalatable truth left Seo Jun sitting dejectedly, checking the news on his phone while riding the bus. The stifling frustration made the young man let out an involuntary sigh. "I had hoped, especially since they said this capsule could let you play games regardless of a low synchronization rate. But no matter what, 100 million is still way too steep. Are they just out to bleed people dry? Knowing this, I shouldn't have touched a game in the first place, and now I'm craving that feeling of playing again." Seo Jun rested his arm against the window frame in frustration and stared intently outside. Unconsciously, a dejected sigh slipped past him as a vague thought drifted through his mind. Why on earth did I ever get involved with these capsule games back then? At night, in a dull, rented apartment, the shouting of the TV host echoed throughout the space. "A new record has been set this week. The first season champion in South Korea, player Shin Hae-in." Ti-Woo heard this and excitedly commented, "Holy crap, that's genuinely insane. The scale of this thing is mind-blowing. Even active pro players are joining this exhibition match." Seo Jun arrived home, cleared his throat, and asked, "What on earth are you watching with the volume up so high?" His sudden appearance startled the other guy. "Oh, you're back. This tournament's exhibition match is insanely addictive, man." Seo Jun looked at his cheerful friend, sat down next to Ti-Woo, and chatted. "Is that tournament really that famous? They run ads for it all day long." Little did he expect that question to noticeably stress him out. "Are you out of your mind? Asking if this tournament is famous, isn't that question practically an insult to someone who doesn't play capsule games?" While Seo Jun remained bewildered by his friend's somewhat over-the-top reaction, he asked, "What is wrong with you?" Ti-Woo got annoyed and launched into an introduction fitting of a righteous, hardcore fan allied with a live stream tournament. It drew 15 million views on its first broadcast alone. In South Korea alone, a regular annual tournament attracts at least 1 million viewers. And if you include the international audience, it's a mega blockbuster tournament with over 15 million views. Aside from professional leagues, this is by far the most grandly scaled tournament out there. Hearing that, Seo Jun blinked and asked tentatively, "What kind of weapons do they usually use?" Although he didn't understand what his friend's naive question meant, Ti-Woo replied sincerely, "There are bows and magic too, but no matter what, using a sword is still the strongest." As soon as he finished speaking, he observed his friend's attitude. To his surprise, Seo Jun fell silent and muttered like he was spaced out. "Using a sword, huh?" Seeing his friend looking so dazed, Ti-Woo irritably shoved a handful of crunchy chips into his mouth. "It's not like you just pick up a sword and automatically fight well, you know. Last year, I put on airs, swung a sword around, and got eliminated right in the preliminaries. And the result? I only got some crappy gray-tier gear." Before he could even catch his breath, he choked on his own spit due to Seo Jun's cold-hearted remark. "Ah, so as long as you're a streamer, anyone can register to participate regardless of fame, right?" That teasing jab instantly drove Ti-Woo crazy, and he roared, "Hey, I'm pretty good too, you know. You have to realize that without a reputation, securing a spot in the Allied tournament is an absolute bloodbath, got it?" Ignoring him completely, Seo Jun gently scratched his ear and sighed. "My head is buzzing." Waiting for Ti-Woo to calm down, Seo Jun asked, "Why are you suddenly asking about the Allied tournament today? Normally, you wouldn't give a damn about capsules or live streams." Seo Jun went silent for a few seconds before softly replying, "Just asking." Suddenly, the phone in his pocket started vibrating violently. The moment Seo Jun tapped his phone to unlock it, Jihai's question regarding her previous offer smacked him right in the face. Memories of that morning quickly flooded Seo Jun's mind. In the Allied tournament organized by the company, a new generation capsule had been added to the prize pool. "If you agree to participate in this tournament, I will make an exception and lend you a capsule for free until the tournament ends." Jihai noticed Seo Jun's surprised expression and confidently delivered the punchline. "What do you think?" Returning to reality, he quickly asked, "What if I try participating in the Allied tournament too?" Making Ti-Woo, who a second ago was blindly nodding along while distracted by the TV, snap back. The next second, he whipped his head around to look at him with an indescribable expression. "What did you just say?" Seo Jun naturally sensed his friend's incomprehension and calmly replied, "I said I'm going to try entering the Allied tournament. Don't you think if I seriously compete, I could actually make things happen?" His friend's casual, breezy demeanor made Ti-Woo let out a long gasp. "You think the Allied tournament is some kind of national karaoke contest where anyone who feels like it can just jump in? Where on earth did you get that delusional confidence?" Those cold words made Seo Jun let out a weary, frustrated sigh. Taking advantage of his friend not paying attention, he silently retreated into his own private thoughts. "I've thought about it a lot, about the real reason why I yearn to return to capsule games so much. I want to experience the glory I once possessed as the sword god just once more." Because the depths of his subconscious quickly pulled Seo Jun back to the exact moment he stood alone in the ancient forest. His sharp gaze suddenly flashed with a deadly image, before his body instinctively tilted, waiting for the parasitic scum to hurl themselves at him. Seo Jun smoothly drew his treasured sword and effortlessly dispatched those humanoid demons without a single moment of hesitation. How could he ever forget his lonely stance amidst the corpses he had cut down? Seo Jun, the man who seemed like a total loser, still retained his memories from his past life, and whether he wanted them to or not, those memories kept flooding back. A secret black market that only opened on nights of a full moon. Even at the very bottom of that society, Seo Jun was merely a commodity waiting to be used by others. In his past life, That slave was none other than him. If that moment had truly unfolded peacefully, in a place without plasma webbing across every pathway, a strange man suddenly appeared and dealt with the cowardly slavers. Everything happened in a flash right before Seo Jun's eyes. While he was still dazed and didn't know what to do, that man approached Seo Jun and offered, "Hey kid, wanna come with me?" If Master Han Suk hadn't shown up back then, extending a rare hand of mercy amidst such a treacherous place, saving the past of a genius from the brink of despair, along with the burden of leading the righteous path amidst so much envy and expectation. Neither he nor the sword god of the past would exist today. Seo Jun kept reminiscing about the past, nodding and smiling like a madman. "Master, what good was being the sword god in my past life anyway?" Ti Wu stood outside, watching his friend act completely unhinged and irritably muttered, "This lunatic." Seo Jun dropped his voice to sub-zero temperatures as he snapped back at his friend. "What did you just say?" To his surprise, not only was Ti Wu unfazed, but he raised an eyebrow and retorted, "I said you're a lunatic, spending money to buy this just to enter a live stream tournament. Does that sound rational to you?" His aggressive attitude made Seo Jun's face harden as he demanded, "Why are you blowing a fuse? What's so irrational about it?" Ti Wu went silent for a few seconds to gather his mental armor before launching a full-scale assault. "Do you have any idea how strict the entry requirements for the Allied tournament are? If you aren't already a known streamer, forget about even touching it." Ti Wu looked at his friend's blank face and couldn't help sighing as he lectured. "You think being famous is easy. You need the gift of gab, flashing a smile at the end of the chat, begging people to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You need insane gaming reflexes." As he spoke, Ti Wu began wildly flailing and posing to illustrate his point. Ignoring whether Seo Jun wanted to absorb any of it, he cheerfully struck comedic poses and humor. On top of that, you even have to know how to edit videos. Even assuming you can do all of that, tons of people still bomb because nobody watches them. And you haven't even touched a virtual capsule before, so how do you expect to play? That sharp, logical argument left Seo Jun glancing anxiously at the capsule behind his back, as he asked for confirmation one more time. Is there really no way to climb up purely on skill? That simple question made Ti Wu chuckle and mutter, "This guy is seriously stubborn. Actually, there is one way." Take Shin Hae-in, for example, who is praised with the most flowery words imaginable. The absolute peak, South Korea's #1 gamer, more famous than actual celebrities. Seo Jun didn't show an ounce of admiration. Instead, he wore the excessive calmness of someone completely oblivious to pop culture. "Is that so? I'm better than her anyway. Actually, I used this virtual capsule once before, a long time ago." Naturally, that breezy conversation went completely in one ear and out the other for Ti Wu. "That is absolute nonsense of the highest order. Did you even hear a single word I just said? This is bad. I need to give you a reality check." He calmly walked over toward the capsule and invited him in immediately. "Get in there right now. If your skills are actually better than Shin Hae-in's. No, forget her. If you're just better than me, I'll handle all the household chores from now on." Since his friend had laid down a bet, Seo Jun didn't hesitate, a knowing, cryptic smile creeping onto his lips. And he locked in the bet almost instantly. Deal. A moment later, Seo Jun crawled into the capsule to take his position. While the system was busy working, connecting to the virtual reality world with 10 seconds remaining, he fell back into his own thoughts. A streamer, huh? Honestly, this is an industry I've never had any interest in. But Seo Jun took a deep breath and let his mind wander. Suddenly, the image of Han Suk flickered into his subconscious. His gentle yet lecturing voice echoed through Seo Jun's mind. "Everyone is clumsy at first rather than proficient. If you hesitate just because you've never tried, you'll never amount to anything." The moment those words ended, a blinding light flashed in his eyes. Seo Jun slowly opened his eyes. The unfamiliar, ancient scenery around him left him stunned for a split second. "Where is this?" Before Seo Jun could do anything, the system abruptly announced, "Kim Ti-woo has entered the training room." As soon as he appeared, he grinned and muttered, "You're in, huh?" Seo Jun reined in his surging curiosity to reply, "Yeah, what is this place?" Sensing the other's amusement, Ti-woo leisurely guided him. "This is the basic game pre-installed in the capsule, where you fight AIs to set records." When Seo Jun revealed his ignorance, asking, "Can't I just fight you directly instead?" Ti-woo, who was handing gear to his friend, burst out laughing. "I'll give you this. When I fight, I don't hold back, so you might actually get injured. Beat my Chialsu here first, and then we can talk about winning our bet." A system status window suddenly popped up, leaving Seo Jun completely dumbfounded. Ti-woo didn't even need to look to know what it was and went straight to explaining. "The AIs here range from level 1 to 10. The higher the level, the stronger they are. The final level, level 10, simulates the person with the best record among those who cleared level 9. And Shin Hae-in has dominated that spot for the past 5 years. Anyway, to reach level 10, you have to get past level 9 first, and that's no walk in the park. Before he could finish his sentence, he was dumbstruck as he watched the system's screen pop open. It turned out Seo-jun had chosen a combat level on his own, prompting the system to hastily summon an AI. The solo state had been established. The match would begin right now. Ti-woo looked at his cold expression and chuckled teasingly. "What's this? You picked already? You better have picked a low level. Don't tell me you're charging blindly into a higher tier." A split second later, the AI hurriedly charged toward Seo-jun with its sword drawn. The moment it swung its weapon, Seo-jun parried it effortlessly. The clanging sound of clashing swords made Ti-woo scoff. "What's wrong with this guy?" Acting all cool. Meanwhile, Seo-jun calmly parried every single attack from the AI. But when it pulled a dirty trick and thrust its sword forward, Seo-jun coolly dodged to the side with absolute ease. Before the AI could even react, he angled his blade and slashed a line across its body. A single lightweight attack managed to wipe out half of the AI's health bar. That information left Ti-woo standing outside, utterly speechless and dumbfounded. A fluke. Meanwhile, Seo-jun stood frozen, waiting for the AI's next attack. The moment it pressed into the restricted zone, he immediately swung his sword, throwing it off balance. Before the AI could even snap out of it, Seo-jun swiftly unleashed a flurry of strikes all over its body. Right as the AI tried to raise its sword for a dirty thrust, he quickly executed a slash that severed its robotic arm clean from its torso. When the AI's sword-wielding arm crashed to the ground, Ti-woo was so shocked that his face turned completely pale. Beaten into the dirt, the AI sensed the killing intent and slowly raised its head. Seo-jun gently stepped over its dangling arm. That sound made the AI look up. Seo-jun waited precisely for that moment, so it could clearly see his triumphant smile. And then he gently escorted his opponent back to AI heaven. The slim blade was pulled out of its body by Seo-jun, allowing the system to successfully retrieve the AI. The system's relentless pinging sounds, as it analyzed data, echoed continuously. Just a split second later, it displayed Seo-jun's battle achievement from the recent fight. "You have won the level 9 match. Remaining HP, 10. Duration, 2 minutes 23 seconds. Current ranking, 107th. That sight left spectator Ti-woo completely frozen. What? Level 9? The AI he just beat to a pulp was level 9. Wait, does that mean the next match will be? The system promptly generated a new AI manifestation, waiting for it to finish setting up as it burst with energy. Sensing that a BI letter 1 EBF and S letter 1 ED1 was coming, Ti-woo took a few steps back. Shin Hae-in, a terrifying scene that left Ti-woo holding his breath, because the person about to fight the Hae-in AI was none other than his quiet friend, Seo-jun. What on earth is happening to this guy? Back in the lab, Soo-min lightly nudged Ji-hae, "Director, why did you do that?" When she received a puzzled look from the other woman, "Do what?" Soo-min quickly voiced her thoughts. "That free rental thing. There was no need to be that generous, was there? To be honest, he looks like someone who wouldn't even be able to crawl into the tournament in his entire life." Her mind conveniently conjured up Seo-jun's attitude upon agreeing to Ji-hae's offer. "Guess this virtual capsule is mine now, huh?" She waited for her subordinate, then let out a scoff. "I just felt a twinge of regret seeing a talent go to waste, that's all." Soo-min quickly latched onto the keyword and raised an eyebrow. Talent. Ji-hae stared intently at Seo-jun's file, lost in thought. "Ever since back then, when he couldn't even reach the minimum synchronization rate, I could tell there was something very different about him. His skills now far surpass what they were back then." Not wanting to dwell on it for Soo-min, Ji-hae slowly let out a sigh and spoke in a vague tone. "Granted, he's still a long way off from meeting the eligibility requirements. But if he actually manages to get in, I think he could actually win the whole thing." Meanwhile, inside the system's training space, Seo-jun leisurely sparred with the Hae-in AI. The intense sword fight made even Ti-woo break out in a cold sweat. Could he actually win this championship for real? A sudden thought flashed through his mind, prompting him to hurriedly hit the record button. A surge of belief welled up, making Ti-woo break into a dark, plotting smile. If he actually wins this is an absolute goldmine of content. Meanwhile, Seo-jun was busy clashing swords with the Hae-in AI. As he swept his blade to knock his opponent back, the Hae-in AI quickly regained its footing, halting its flight by pressing its hands and feet firmly against the arena floor. The opponent's agility stirred a slight sense of appreciation in Seo-jun. "Not bad at all, Shin Hae-in. I realized it before, but she is more talented than anyone I ever met in my past life." Thinking of that, Seo-jun didn't forget to flatter himself. Oh wait, except for exactly one person. That unexpected pause made Ti-woo scream out, "Hey, what are you doing?" In a brief split second, The Heian AI capitalized on her opponent's trance to skewer Seo Jun with a sword strike. That result instantly shattered any previous hopes Ti-Woo had for him. Yep, exactly. How on earth did you keep up with Shin Heian's speed? To his surprise, Seo Jun calmly pulled the Heian AI's sword out of his own stomach and tossed it to the ground without even bothering to answer his friend. A stray thought drifted through Seo Jun's mind as he watched the Heian AI leap backward. It doesn't hurt at all, and there isn't even a single drop of blood. Seo Jun checked the notification showing he had lost 1 HP and calmly commented, "Virtual reality really is something else." His unexpected calmness made Ti-Woo frown in confusion. "Don't tell me. You let yourself get hit on purpose just to test it out." Seo Jun didn't refute it, instead casually shrugging, "I was just a little curious." While the two of them were busy chatting, the Heian AI abruptly forged a brand new sword to replace its old one. It slowly lowered its center of gravity, then sprinted at full speed towards Seo Jun. That sudden burst of speed forced him to match its velocity to parry the strike. On one side was the Heian AI, a replica of the strongest modern player. On the other side was Seo Jun, carrying the memories of the most formidable sword arts from ancient times. Both parties abruptly brought their blades down to meet each other, generating a powerful shockwave. While Seo Jun calmly pressed his sword down, the Heian AI grew somewhat disoriented, having never encountered such a situation, and stood frozen. Warning screens that shouldn't be there began popping up inside its energy display. That brief snippet of information was instantly read and processed by Seo Jun, prompting him to flick his sword upward and send the Heian AI crashing backward. Taking advantage of the moment before it could recover, he delivered a powerful kick straight to the Heian AI's stomach. The hasty attack sent it scrambling to leap backward and maintain a safe distance. The system's cold voice echoed in its head, "HP-4. Seo Jun looked at the motionless Heian AI and taunted, "What's wrong? Not coming anymore." He leaned back slightly to gather momentum and sprang forward. Well then, Seo Jun smoothly emerged from behind a hazy shroud of smoke, appearing right before the Heian AI's eyes. Back in my day, his proactive attack forced it to raise its sword in defense. The sheer force of their clashing blades caused intense friction, sending sparks flying. But just a split second later, jagged cracks appeared along the edge of the Heian AI's blade. That sight instantly shocked Ti-Woo out of his wits. "Wait, there's no way." Before he could utter another word, Seo Jun snapped the Heian AI's sword in half. The massive shockwave from his blow even hurled it far backward. Everything went precisely according to Seo Jun's expectations, making him flash a premature, triumphant smile. Under the setting sun rendered by the system, he slowly raised his sword horizontally across the Heian AI's face. Before delivering the final blow, Seo Jun couldn't resist dropping a sarcastic remark. "Go practice for another 80 years, and maybe you'll stand a chance against me." The moment he finished his sentence, he executed a finishing slash across the Heian AI's neck. The system processed all the data and promptly broadcasted the result. "You have won the match." Amidst Ti-Woo's awestruck and terrified gaze, Seo Jun calmly continued chatting. "Hey, I just beat Shin Heian. Is this enough skill to be a merit-based streamer yet?" Right as those words left his mouth, the system updated with another crucial piece of information. The owner of level 10 has changed. The next day, back in that same basic rented apartment, Seo Jun lay lazily on the sofa, acting like an absolute boss. "While you're at it, go pick up some food on your way back, will you?" Following the previous day's shock, Ti-Woo was now literally reduced to being his beast of burden. "How did you even cook ramen so it's still hard in the middle? Make sure you vacuum the living room later too, and the laundry isn't even folded yet. And wash the dishes right after eating, okay?" All because of that unbeatable bet, Ti-Woo could only cry in silent agony. Didn't he say he wouldn't accept any complaints? Meanwhile, Seo Jun finished eating and walked straight into his private little room, where the capsule awaited to prepare for today's work. "I already installed the game yesterday. Time to log in and set up the livestream room." Seo Jun closed his eyes with a flutter of anticipation, letting the capsule system whisk his consciousness away. That faint glimmer of light flickered into view once more. Unsure of how much time had passed, Seo Jun slowly lifted his heavy eyelids. The minimalist, almost chillingly cold surroundings left him slightly dazed. As Seo Jun blankly glanced around in all directions, "Where on earth is this?" The system's basic interface suddenly popped up. Answering Seo Jun's unspoken question, it announced, "This is your personal lobby. Please take your time to prepare before entering the game." He began scratching his chin and nodding like a 70-year-old man. "Ah, right. Streamers interact with viewers right here in their lobby. So this is what it looks like. I should probably decorate this place properly someday. All right, let's turn on Travel first." Travel, the #1 gaming livestream platform, quickly materialized before Seo Jun's eyes. A breezy thought drifted across his mind like a passing gust of wind. Right now, I have only one single goal: attract enough followers as a streamer to meet the requirements for the Leo's tournament. When the system abruptly announced, "Your livestream will begin right now," Seo Jun slowly steadied his breathing and chose his game. Dawn of the Assassins, this is the one. A medieval-themed game where players have to take down targets using the most bizarre, unimaginable tricks possible. Seo Jun nodded repeatedly, proud of his decision. It hit over 2 million viewers on its very first day, and even a week later, its popularity hasn't cooled down at all. Absolutely perfect for a newbie like me. In the pitch-black night, a grappling hook was fired toward a stone wall by someone. The sharp grappling hook quickly anchored itself, allowing the shooter to vault upward using the tension. Seo Jun, now inhabiting his new in-game avatar, grabbed onto the rope and sprinted up the wall. A few minutes later, he finally touched the top floor of the building. Leveraging techniques retained from his past life, Seo Jun smoothly landed right where he needed to be in a mere split second. He leisurely leaned forward to look down at the gorgeous city below. A sudden gust of wind swept past, blowing off his hood and revealing Seo Jun's new appearance. "All right, time to get started, shall we? Let's go live." The system abruptly displayed the title for his broadcast stream. "Brand new rookies streaming for the first time. Are there any pros out there willing to teach a newbie?" As Seo Jun read those words, he thought blankly. T. Wu came up with a really sensational title. I wonder if it actually works. He recalled T. Wu's earlier words of confidence. "Little bro, in terms of live streaming seniority, I'm your senior. Just trust me, it'll pull in a crowd no matter what. Go check it out." He couldn't help bursting into laughter and shaking his head. "Then again, I'm hardly a complete novice when it comes to these virtual reality games." After a brief moment of amusement, Seo Jun quickly hardened his expression and cast his gaze downward, where extravagant buildings oozing with wealth stood tall. Seo Jun slowly swept his gaze across characters dressed in elaborate gear, moving just like real people in the modern world. The cohesive world building put Seo Jun in a strangely pleasant mood. The setting is pretty addictive, and the graphics are genuinely top tier, he thought, chuckling softly to himself. Suddenly, footsteps approached from behind Seo Jun. He leisurely turned around in response to the gentle call. "Dane, you might not come back alive from this mission." Seo Jun smoothly recited the system-assigned dialogue. "Christina, when have we ever worked without danger?" Before she could deliver any more lines, Seo Jun furrowed his brow. The tutorial is running its automated dialogue already. The voice is different too. So this is the character named Dane, looks pretty badass. When Christina turned away to reveal a look of hesitation, Seo Jun smiled, letting his hoarse voice drift on the wind. "Once you decide to take someone else's life, you have to be prepared to forfeit your own." Hearing something so grim, Christina snapped back to her senses and cleared her throat. "Right. Even so, you still need to be careful. They might have already caught your scent." But contrary to her worries, Seo Jun casually brushed off her concern. "Don't worry, just go wait for me at the tavern." To his surprise, not only did Christina ignore his instructions, but she handed him a pre-folded piece of paper. Under her incomprehensible gaze, she vaguely murmured, "Nothing is true, practice skepticism toward everything." Hearing that line, Seo Jun broke into an excited smirk. "Here it goes." He continued with the system-assigned dialogue as he reached out to take the paper. "Even chaos." After parting ways with Christina, Seo Jun swiftly dashed across the rooftops. He pulled out a thick strip of fabric and gripped it firmly in his hand. Once he locked onto his destination, Seo Jun let himself glide effortlessly along a zipline stretched across the cable. Nearing the end, he instantly released the rope, kicked off the top of a street lamp, and landed smoothly on the ground. Seo Jun's eyes still retained the fierce aura of the God of Swords from days gone by. Until the system announced that the automated guidance mode had ended, he returned to his usual dazed state. Wait. Seo Jun hurriedly pulled himself together to continue playing the game. There's no path left on this side either. Small lines of information suddenly popped up before his eyes. Such terrible optimization. Climb up using the water pipes. That very inscription filled Seo Jun with unease. He despondently raised his hand to compare himself with the pipes fixed to the wall. "You want me to cling onto that and climb up?" The moment Seo Jun's hand touched a small water pipe, his entire body seemed to be energized by some force as he kicked off the pipe and leaped upward. And a moment later, Seo Jun landed squarely on the building's rooftop. The fluid climbing movements caught him completely off guard. "Oh look, what is this? My body moves smoothly on its own. The interaction is genuinely realistic. Is it done? I guess my body felt a bit stiff because of the auto mode earlier." Suddenly, the newbie quest popped up before Seo Jun's eyes. Assassination target. Eder is a high-ranking noble and an intermediary for a secret organization. The Assassin's Guild has assigned member Dane the task of eliminating him. Completion condition. Eder must die. Seo Jun read through all that wordy text and let out a sigh. So basically, I just need to kill a guy named Eder, right? And I gotta hand it to this game, the guidance is super thorough. No sooner had he finished speaking than the system automatically dropped a rope down. Use the rope to climb down. Seo Jun carefully climbed down while silently monologuing to himself. If it guides you step by step like this, it's pretty manageable. Suddenly, this granddaddy stopped everything he was doing, all because a crazy thought flashed briefly through Seo Jun's mind. I wonder what happens if I let go while climbing. Do I really have to slide all the way to the bottom of the rope? Letting go halfway probably won't hurt, right? My gut feeling says so, and going this way is faster. Guided by that thought, the lunatic Seo Jun let go of his grip, total disaster. As expected, his body plummeted and crashed straight into the ground like a ripe durian falling from a tree. A moment later, Seo Jun regained his senses, sat up and groaned. Yeah, okay, that definitely didn't work. Surprisingly, that unconscious stunt caused the comment section to pop up right before his eyes. Seo Jun cast his gaze across the existing comments. This streamer is a total newbie for real law. Watching these noobs act like clowns is so damn entertaining. Don't tell me this is scripted. I'm dying, exactly. When I first started, I was just as clueless, he thought with an embarrassed chuckle in his heart. Oh right, I'm still live. I always keep forgetting. When did 4 people start watching anyway? I thought nobody was watching, so the title actually worked. Seo Jun imagined Ti Wu's excited face upon hearing the news. I told you so. And gently interacted with his viewers. Sorry everyone, I just noticed the chat. The audience split into 2 opposing camps for a moment. Watching a newbie clown around is pretty entertaining, not gonna lie. Stop wasting time and move faster already. Don't drag your feet, keep going. But the only thing that caught Seo Jun's attention was something else. Why are these people's usernames so weird? Are these just random weirdos who wandered in here by accident? Come to think of it, Ti Wu had advised him that when you first start streaming, you have to talk to yourself to fill the silence. Even if there's no one or only one viewer, don't obsess over the numbers. The most important thing is to interact. That led Seo Jun into a private analytical spiral. The reason they chose to watch my channel instead of the big ones is definitely because they want genuine interaction. On the major channels, text scrolls by like a gust of wind and gets wiped out completely. Let me try talking naturally, saying is doing. Seo Jun began a Q&A session with the viewers who bothered to watch him. Are you really a new for real? Yeah, really. Check the profile, it's totally legit. The account was created 2 days ago. You can check that too. Of course, if you don't want people to see it, you can set it to private. What a hassle. Too lazy to hide my profile, yet so eager to play games. But seriously, when are you gonna do the quest? I'm walking there right now. Unsure of how much time had passed, Seo Jun finally arrived at Count Eder's mansion. While he casually remarked, "We got here pretty fast," the viewers weren't too comfortable with what they were seeing. That house looks straight out of a horror movie, damn. The sound of those crows gives me the creeps. Not knowing what to do first, Seo Jun asked the viewers for help. What should I do now? Should I just walk straight through the front door? Only to receive a tense reaction from them. Are you out of your mind? Total newbie stench. Wait, don't. Christina's letter said not to do that. The moment that last comment appeared, Seo Jun unfolded the paper right away. Oh right, there's a letter. He squinted at the contents of the letter and muttered as he interacted with the viewers. It says Eder is in his second-floor bedroom, and there are about 20 guards. As for weapons, right as he said that, Seo Jun summoned his hot gear. His left hand was also enveloped by the system for a few seconds, before revealing a small gauntlet wrapped around his arm. Seo Jun blankly stared at the 2 items he was equipped with, a sword concealed inside a walking cane and a spiked gauntlet. His innocent look prompted the viewers to explain. Those items are just default tutorial weapons. But Seo Jun didn't pay much attention to that. Anyway, my only goal is to take out that Eder guy. This is more than enough. Thinking that, he sheathed his sword again and calmly marched straight through the enemy's front door. All right, I'm going in. That somewhat decisive action sent the chat into an uproar, like mother hens watching a chick run onto train tracks. Wait, this newbie is insane. Stop right there. When Seo Jun calmly turned around and asked, "What's wrong?" They all chimed in with frantic sighs of warning. Good grief, did you even read the rest of Christina's letter? Please follow the instructions in the letter, for crying out loud. Just let him be, he'll only smarten up after dying a few times. Death is about to welcome another soul today. A flurry of bizarre reactions made Seo Jun purse his lips in thought. Are my viewers reacting this strongly? Unable to think of anything clever, he asked directly, "Can't I go through the front door?" A viewer replied, Do you even know what a warrior playstyle is? Seo Jun revealed his ignorance on the spot. What's that? That sincere question of confusion prompted the viewer to show mercy and explain patiently. In this game, if you get caught during a mission, the NPCs get heavily buffed. Usually people just sneak around, but sometimes veterans like to act arrogant, walking right through the front door and slashing everything in sight. That kamikaze playstyle is called a warrior. Seo Jun skimmed through the comments and quickly asked further. So you can't beat the tutorial using that kamikaze style? The viewer didn't hesitate to shoot straight. Who knows if anyone's ever done it? Some guy spent 10 hours grinding, got totally helpless, and had to quit to follow the normal route for the first ending, saying he'd come back for revenge later. Not even the veteran posters on the forum have posted proof of pulling it off. Hearing that, Seo Jun couldn't help chuckling. So it's not that it's impossible, it's just that nobody's done it yet, right? Not seeing the change in expression on his face, the viewer chatted warmly like an old buddy. Yeah, unless you have pro-level skills on par with Shin Hae-in, maybe. That familiar name prompted Seo Jun to step forward. Shin Hae-in. He gently pulled his hood over his head and broke into a bright smile. All right, let's see how this goes. The blood moon scenery surrounding Etter's mansion created an indescribably eerie atmosphere. Up until this moment, Seo Jun slowly absorbed the bizarre ambience of the place and paused for a beat. Whoa, up close, this pressure is no joke. Then again, people say making your viewers underestimate you a little is the art of content creation. He calmly read the comments scrolling past his eyes. Betting right here the poster is broke. Anyone wanna bet how many tries before this guy gets pissed and turns off the game? He's never gonna make it. Just die quickly and restart so we don't waste time. You guys are being way too harsh on him. What is this newbie doing? Who knows? Does he even know who Shin Hae-in is to be bragging this hard? Those somewhat harsh words didn't concern Seo Jun as much as something else. 3 more people just tuned in. Turns out you do need drama to attract viewers. Oh well, as long as they don't cross the line, anything goes. Seo Jun's soft footsteps quickly drew the attention of the mansion guard. They hastily took up battle stances and roared, "Who goes there?" while the chat went into sarcastic mode. Oh Lord, caught the second he walked in. Just like I said, I bet he dies right here on the spot. Seo Jun casually replied, "Don't worry, I'm getting the hang of it," only to receive cold buckets of water from the harsh comment section. Who's worrying about you? We're just here to watch you die for entertainment. True, he's hitting the floor in 3 seconds. Taking advantage of his distraction, a guard raised his sword and lunged forward first. Hey you, get out here right now. In a brief split second, Seo Jun's eyes switched to God of Slayer mode. He used lightning-fast reflexes to draw his sword and parry the opponent's thug-like attack, and effortlessly retaliated against the foolish soldier, sending him crashing down in pain onto the cold ground. That sudden, rushed turn of events instantly threw the viewers into chaos. Oh, Mother of God, he could go buy a lottery ticket right now. Wait, am I seeing things? Did this newbie actually just pull off a successful parry? Making Seo Jun pause for a beat. His hand silently tightened around the hilt of his sword, but not out of worry, rather out of confusion, while his hands continued to dispatch the opponent out of sheer past life habit. I don't even know what just happened. Are the monsters in this game really this fragile? The remaining guard saw his comrades sent to the afterlife so abruptly and rushed forward in a panic. You little brat. Unfortunately, the result remained the same. Seo Jun effortlessly parried the blow with his flimsy sword. However, before dealing with the opponent, he even had time to read the viewer's comments. Wait, no way, for real? I swear I should have just bought a lottery ticket. A double parry? That's genuinely insane. Insane. That was clearly pure luck. I'm dying of laughter. Seo Jun stood there with a blank, clueless expression, blocking the attack. Suddenly, the soldier who had just been knocked back forced himself back to his feet. Annoyed, Seo Jun sent him packing for good. Once the job was done, Seo Jun cleared his throat and spoke up. Hey, everyone, leaving the viewers startled. What? Who would have thought our man would ask a basic question so redundant? What's a parry? A split second later, the viewer couldn't help laughing as they typed back. Are you kidding me? You pulled off a move like that and you don't even know what a parry is? But when Seo Jun replied seriously, yeah, exactly, everyone started buzzing. No way, you're literally a born genius. Pure luck, what talent. Then a genius is exactly what that is, duh. Their chatter annoyed him, so he tuned them out. All right, stop arguing and explain it to me already. That clueless, naive demeanor left the viewers feeling both exasperated and amused. This guy's attitude is hilarious. Suddenly, I actually want to help him. Stop arguing, guys. It took quite a while before Seo Jun let out an ah of realization. Oh, I see. He gently poked his cane against the illustrations of his defeated foes on the ground and recited his lesson. So that's called a parry, meaning you just have to time it right when the enemy charges and bring a sword stroke straight down to stun them, right? Making the viewers burst into laughter. His drawing skills are top tier, but damn, this guy is surprisingly sharp. Even veteran pro gamers who are full of confidence cry over this game's parry mechanic. That remark made Seo Jun furrow his brow in confusion. Even pros struggle with it. T. Wu said the basic level 9 bot is already on pro level. If the pros are only at that level, then their general skill must be around there too. No wonder people find it hard. To successfully parry, you have to read the enemy's attack direction precisely and move your body in perfect sync. Suddenly, someone expressed concern and asked a confirmation question. Now do you understand what a parry is? Seo Jun nodded obediently like a good child. Crystal clear. Who would have thought he'd receive well-meaning advice addressed to the wrong person? Then you should turn back while you still can, seriously, or you're gonna get your teeth kicked in pretty soon. Seo Jun didn't give it a second thought and took another step forward. Why would I do that? I think it's pretty easy. Seo Jun's confident tone instantly made the viewers burst into mocking laughter. But strangely enough, an even more serious comment popped up. No way, I'm watching very closely. That movement just now definitely wasn't luck. To his surprise, before he could even respond, other commentators chimed in right away. You think being top tier is that easy to achieve? Who do you think you are? South Korea's greatest assassin isn't a beggar. What the hell do you know? That unprecedented verbal brawl in the comment section made Seo Jun let out a weary sigh. Rough, that poor guy just said one thing and got eaten alive instantly. In my past life, I was just like this. Even when I crushed the disciples of major sects, they still looked down on me because I was a nobody. No background, no backing. My actual skills were always brushed aside, knowing full well that things back then and today weren't the same. But before Seo Jun could ponder any further, a barrage of sudden footsteps rang out, freezing him in place. A squad of soldiers hearing the alarm ran straight out in front of Seo Jun. Stop right there, intruder. Seeing their arrogant looks, he simply tightened his grip on his sword hilt. In essence, it's still the same. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Seo Jun immediately bolted at lightning speed right into the enemy's midst. No matter what, I'll just use results to prove it. The moment Seo Jun took down one person, another appeared from above. He simply leaned his body sideways the moment his eyes caught the enemy's weak point, and quickly thrust a strike right into that soldier's body. That decisive action and agility left the viewers wide-eyed. What the hell? However, his battle wasn't over yet. Clinking sounds echoed continuously for a few brief seconds, followed by the chime of a final successful hit, leaving only Seo Jun standing tall amidst the gloomy battlefield. Yet he still swung his sword and spun around smoothly, just to send the last fool off to join his buddies in the sky. After a few brief moments, Seo Jun lazily stabbed his sword into the ground to take a mid-round break. Beneath the blood-red moonlight, his gentle voice sounded no different from a grim reaper coming for lives. If you want to catch me, you'd better bring the entire Shaolin 18 R-hat formation here. His badass look instantly stunned the viewers. Does this streamer have knee pads or something? How is his kneeling so smooth? That's not the point, he just pulled off 4 parries in a row. Are you curious who I am yet? Are you curious who I am yet? Are you curious who I am yet? While Seo Jun was busy reading the chat, he noticed one more guy was still alive. Damn it, call for reinforcements. Before the guy could take a few steps, he quickly hurled his sword straight into the bullseye hidden behind the opponent's iron helmet. He leisurely let out a sigh like a grim reaper who just finished his shift. His footsteps produced the crisp sound of life amidst an environment reeking of hell. Seo Jun calmly pulled his sword out and muttered, "And that's 6 down." A scene straight out of a horror movie left the viewers utterly bewildered. Wait, seriously, who on earth is this streamer? Is he actually a newbie? When Seo Jun sincerely replied, "Of course, you guys clearly saw how much I struggled just now." Some viewers who had been there from the start switched sides and screamed. I told you so. Wait, hold on. Earlier he couldn't even climb over a roof, and now he's pulling off moves like this. I thought this was a clueless newbie stream, but it turns out to be a hidden pro. Who is he? Seo Jun paused for a moment and cleared his throat with a warning. South Korea's greatest assassin. Spam that one more time and you're getting banned. Eager to see his skills, the user panicked and reported in. Understood, boss. That obedient attitude made him slightly embarrassed. Thank you so much for being the first to recognize my skills, but to his surprise, right after that heartwarming interaction, a troll immediately popped up to show off. This poster is taking his job way too seriously. What's there to be scared of getting banned from this tiny channel? Ban me if you dare, let's see. The notification of the viewer being kicked out of the room, accompanied by Seo Jun's calm voice, wrapped things up, giving the viewers a great laugh. Goodbye, customer. That reflex speed is genuinely insane. Such terrifying physical instincts going down in history. The very first ban of Season 1, I'm so jealous. Totally, with this skill level, he's bound to blow up soon. Getting banned now just means future regrets, I swear. Seo Jun glanced briefly at the chat content and silently sighed to himself. Is this a good sign? Am I actually doing well? Hard to say. In my past life, I never dared to showcase myself just because of my low birth. Suppressed by the orthodox major sects, I didn't belong anywhere, but talent can never be concealed. I ended up becoming a lonely sword god anyway. That's who I am. If Seo Jun's junior martial brothers and sisters could hear this inner monologue, they'd be screaming bloody murder. Please stop already, senior. What kind of utter nonsense are you spouting? Do you have any idea how hard we had to clean up the messes you made? Senior brother Seo Jun wouldn't even care, and would let it go in one ear and out the other anyway. The moment of reminiscing about the past quickly ended as curious questions started popping up in the chat. Seriously though, why is your parry so insane? For real, is there a trick to it? Your hands are flexible like rubber. When Seo Jun stammered in response, "Ah, about that," the viewers anxiously urged him on. Spit it out, what is it? What's the secret trick? Spill it already. Oh God, I'm dying of anticipation. Who would have thought our man would drop a line sounding like a madman? Just remember your past life and it's easy, right? Or if not, just watch the enemies attack closely and swing a stroke straight down from above, and you're done. That remark visibly pissed off the chat. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know that, are you trolling us? Someone bring out a pitchfork, this guy is shameless. Seeing the viewer's anger peak, Seo Jun could only mutter to himself. I had good intentions giving an in-depth explanation, and yet you guys are yelling at me. Suddenly, the frantic screams of the guards began to echo. Over here, the intruder is over here. While he calmly muttered to himself, oh well, they've all gathered around. Someone quickly explained, following the host's previous clueless act. If you stand still in one place for too long, you get surrounded like this. In a brief split second, Seo Jun was surrounded by a squad from the mansion. A viewer witnessing this uttered some harsh words. Just die here already to pass the tutorial, you have zero chance of beating Eder, which slightly displeased Seo Jun and made him chuckle. Hey everyone, a newbie pulling off 13 consecutive parries. Don't you guys want to witness that? At the moment Seo Jun cheerfully dropped that declaration to his livestream viewers, the NPC's screams rang out once more the very next second. Eliminate the intruder. There's only one of them, don't be afraid. The ironclad boots scurried around to box him in from all blind spots, without messing up his line of sight. Unfortunately, the person they were up against was none other than Seo Jun, who went by the moniker Sword God in his past life. Maintaining his composure, he easily seized every opportunity to execute decisive blows. However, the Count's guards were too numerous. One fell and another rushed right in. Still, for someone like him, it wasn't much of a problem the moment his sharp eyes scanned right behind him. He smoothly lowered his center of gravity to dodge the sharp blade aimed at him by an ambushing soldier. That scene successfully triggered a minor crisis among the audience. Oh God, does he have eyes in the back of his head? Is this streamer a hidden pro or what? What are you talking about? Even a pro might not be able to pull that off. The frustration of dealing with Seo Jun ultimately fueled the raging screams from the NPC's throats. You bastard! Without a trace of panic or hesitation, his feet weren't meant for running away. They only served as springboards against the ground. And embodying the assassin class of Dawn, Seo Jun took on the relentless onslaught from the guards in a direct head-on clash, with an opening performance capable of defeating the Shin Heian AI. Naturally, the NPCs right before him could only be pushed back by his own hands. There was nothing surprising about it. With a single neat swing of his sword, Seo Jun successfully harvested the heads of 2 opponents. Not even a shred of difficulty showed in the depths of his eyes. He was even leisurely enough to let the corners of his lips curve upward softly. At the exact moment he blossomed within the space owned by the boss Eder, this scene drove a viewer wild. That is genuinely insane. That person was none other than Jom, whose in-game ID was Undefeated Assassin of South Korea. What the hell is this? Is he actually a newbie? From his account handle to his activities on the forums, Jom was famously a hardcore fan of Dawn of the Assassins. Ever since the developers announced that core rule with an energetic press conference about Dane, his motto had been to focus purely on stealth and assassination. A kamikaze playstyle. If you think you're good, go ahead and try it. But just trying it was already a bloody nightmare. The moment he heard those words, Jom, who happened to be more obsessed with the kamikaze playstyle than anyone else, went absolutely crazy. The soaring difficulty only fueled his excitement and ignited his craving for conquest. Yet things were hardly ever that easy. The skyrocketing difficulty left most testers with nothing but bitterness and helplessness as they repeatedly received game over prompts. However, thanks to that, a few bizarre playstyles were discovered. Hey guys, turns out you can just collapse the entire building to clear the assassination mission, while others found completely distinct methods relying on memory. Just memorize the boss mechanics and it's a breeze. As long as that thing explodes at the right second, the boss bites the dust instantly. This game is so wild. Not stopping there, someone even invented the most time-consuming playstyle ever. I've been hiding carefully for 3 full hours, and the target still won't come out, successfully prompting viewers to bombard the chat. You're free enough to sit and watch this for 3 solid hours. You stubborn bastard, please spend that time doing some research instead. Needless to say, no matter which streamer Jome tuned in to watch, he had never witnessed a genuinely high-tier rampage, leaving him to just shrug and think, guess that's just hell difficulty for you, nothing you can do. But right at this moment, the light from Seo Jun's decisive slashes illuminated Jome's life. Euphoria erupted so fiercely that tears of emotion welled up in the corners of his eyes. Hell yeah, this is what a true kamikaze playstyle looks like. After all, the owner of the Total Nobody livestream channel he had randomly clicked on was savagely executing the exact rampage playstyle he had been searching for all this time. Waves of excitement rippled through Jome's entire body, escaping past his actively moving lips. That's it, right there. Not stopping there, he even spammed the chat to show his devotion. How far ahead can you read the moves, my liege? You are the greatest legend in the history of the Assassin's Guild, the master of my heart. Back to Seo Jun, his powerful sequence of attacks dealt heavy damage to the guards, leaving them sprawled out across the cold concrete floor. At this very moment, Seo Jun had genuinely captured the hearts of the viewers behind their screens. A rampage aura. Do these mortal eyes of mine even deserve to witness this? Streamer, are you hacking? Witnessing the flurry of comments scrolling across his system interface, he couldn't help questioning. People are losing their minds over just this. I'm simply dodging what needs to be dodged and parrying what needs to be parried. Hearing those casually delivered words from Seo Jun, the audience flooded the chat with hysterical interrogations. Are you out of your goddamn mind, bro? Hilarious, as if we didn't know that. Watching this stream is giving me deep psychological trauma. After being pestered endlessly, he bluntly dropped an announcement. Is that so? If you don't like it, I'll just turn off the stream. Bye. Instantly, those comments flipped their tone in a split second. Wait, master, please, I didn't mean anything by it. Big boss, please, why are you like this? Despite the tiny viewer count, Seo Jun had successfully earned positive recognition for his very first stream. All 6 viewers followed me. Not bad. While he was busy feeling sentimental, a earth-shattering explosion erupted directly before his eyes. Following that intense destruction came the sound of someone's leather-clad boots stepping forward, accompanied by chat comments. Here comes the real deal now, finally the boss fight. In a flash, without even bothering to chat, the opponent aggressively hurled a lethal orb straight at Seo Jun. Fortunately, the ground took the damage instead because he managed to dodge in time, leaving the viewers stunned. How the hell did he dodge that? His reflexes are insane. He banned that guy as fast as lightning too. Ignoring the scene that just unfolded, Eder, acting true to form as the final boss of this stage, arrogantly taunted, "You look like a cowardly rat running around in circles." The viewers could not help complaining. How on earth is he supposed to win this? My ears hurt, that boss roar is terrifying. Meanwhile, Seo Jun didn't bother standing around watching the screen or listening to the guy talk trash. He decisively sprang forward. Once the distance between him and Eder closed just enough, Seo Jun executed a light, agile leap. Without the slightest hesitation or restraint, he directly swung his sharp steel blade at the opponent, only to deal a mere 5 points of damage. Because the damage output was so minimal, the boss's body only froze for a split second instead of losing its head completely. And the very next moment, Eder cheerfully whipped his head back with an ear-to-ear grin. What kind of petty acrobatics are you pulling, kid? His sharp eyebrows knitted tightly together, Seo Jun finally felt a touch of difficulty. His HP barely moved a pixel. Figures, a boss is a boss. Displaying an exceptional thirst for knowledge, he decisively threw the question out to his viewers. Hey chat, can you parry this flail weapon? They fired back immediately. Of course not, you trying to one-shot the boss or something? Where's your conscience? Careless of what the player was muttering about, Eder had only one goal, to show off the weapon in his hand. Stupid brat, I'll let you taste the absolute power of this flail. With his massive physique, He proceeded to demonstrate what overwhelming strength looked like against Seo Jun's agile movement. However, he also inadvertently proved that his heavy build didn't hinder his attacking speed in the slightest. And so, Eder continued destroying his own property through each evasion that Seo Jun executed without breaking a sweat or wasting energy. Seeing that he still hadn't dealt any meaningful damage to him, the boss remained as confident as ever, acting as though victory was already in the bag. Waiting for the opponent to pause for a brief second, Seo Jun decisively propelled himself upward once more using his superhuman jumping ability. Unfortunately, it went even worse than last time. The damage he dealt to the boss dropped to a pathetic 3, drawing only arrogant mockery from the target. This flesh and bone of mine will not fall. Simultaneously, Eder's stone-studded mace smashed straight into the hanging chandelier high above. Luckily, Seo Jun managed to dodge in time and landed coolly on the floor. Just as expected, the damage is still way too low. However, the sluggish pace of the fight was causing no small amount of irritation to his continuously whirring brain. If I chip away at his health like this, am I even going to make it before time runs out? Just as Seo Jun feared, a viewer with the ID greatest ever in my life chimed in. Once you face Eder, if you don't take him down within 5 minutes, you lose instantly, leaving his expression frozen in utter shock at the brutally short time limit. What? And thanks to that revelation, he finally noticed the black countdown timer displaying 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Since when was that thing there? While he stood frozen by the sudden twist, Eder's attack whizzed past Seo Jun by a hair's breadth. True to his final boss status, no matter how much he moved around, he never lost his breath and kept smiling every second. Kid, you're in the middle of a fight, where are you looking? Seo Jun's signature amber pupils narrowed tightly as deep thoughts swirled. At this rate, there's no way I'm taking him down before the timer runs out. At that moment, the system's black clock ticked down to 3 minutes and 42 seconds in his field of vision. Maybe I should try aiming my sword straight at his weak point. There's gotta be a trick to this. Jome immediately stepped up as a loyal supporter to offer advice to his new idol. My liege, if you continuously attack the exact same spot, the damage stacks up. The community's current hypothesis is that's the only way. Observing the seemingly viable strategy, Seo Jun nodded after a brief moment of contemplation. Keep hitting the same spot, huh? Well, might as well give it a try. The moment he sprang away from his stationary spot, he didn't forget to express his gratitude. Undefeated assassin of South Korea, thanks for the info. It took no time at all for Seo Jun to close the distance once again with this tough enemy. Now laser-focused on his target, his attacks finally chunked the enemy's health by a massive 70 points, sending the chat into an uproar. Holy cow, his health bar just dropped by a huge chunk. Jome was right. Landing back on the floor, Seo Jun drew his conclusion. Turns out focusing on a single point is the key. Right now, Eder's expression lost all its previous mockery, leaving only raging fury as he hissed through his clenched teeth. You little rat. Even though he had figured out the breakthrough method, the battle was nearing its deadline with only 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. Not much time left. I can't let him catch his breath. The moment his brain locked in his resolve, Seo Jun lunged forward and directly grabbed Eder's weapon, shocking the boss pale and causing the viewers to scream in disbelief. No way. Is he actually beating the boss? The broad conflict instantly escalated into a test of pure arm strength, accompanied by the boss's roar. You little rat. Naturally, Eder wasn't about to just stand there. He angrily wound up his free fist to strike. Let go of my weapon, you filthy hand. The boss's rage surged like an erupting volcano spewing hot magma. You son of a bitch. But Seo Jun knew the exact method to take down his opponent and wouldn't let go, even as the clock ticked down to 1 minute and 7 seconds. Refusing to give the enemy any breathing room to counterattack, he unleashed a barrage of slashes dealing 200 to 500 damage straight onto the boss, prompting the chat to react. My sincere apologies, Eder. Are those reflex speeds even human? After a series of fierce and precise swings, everyone couldn't help losing their composure. That is genuinely insane. Wait, his health bar still isn't empty. Noticing the follow-up question from the chat, Seo Jun didn't forget to reply. I need to land one more hit, someone excitedly yelled in the chat. Deliver the final blow right now, team. And then, at the exact moment the countdown hit 0 minutes and 51 seconds, a blood-soaked slash was unleashed. The final defeat of the stage boss triggered a massive shockwave that shook the entire mansion. Beneath a bizarrely tinted red sky and a gloomy atmosphere, the entire area shook violently. Though he had been defeated by the player Seo Jun, Eder remained lucid enough for the sake of the plot to roar fiercely. "You hypocritical lackeys of the Assassin's Guild." The next second, he aggressively tore apart a piece of paper pulled from his pocket, declaring, "I am not going down alone." This exact scene also marked the official completion of his newbie tutorial quest. Somewhere out there, a viewer was scrolling furiously across their computer screen. Short clips showcasing Seo Jun's heroic feats spread like wildfire across social media platforms with catchy titles. A newbie clearing the tutorial with a 13-to-1 parry massacre. The very first person in the universe recorded defeating Eder, unscripted, no fakery. Beneath a starry night sky, the windows of a high-rise building still glowed brightly, showing the owner had yet to fall asleep. Deep inside, exclamations echoed continuously as the person scrolled frantically on their monitor. "Oh my God, this is beyond incredible." That person was none other than Jome, whose excitement still refused to cool down. "I never thought I'd get to witness a first-ever clear with my own eyes." Inside the game, Seo Jun was startled by what suddenly flooded his vision. What is that? A flurry of blazing orange-red magic arrays suddenly appeared, blanketing both of them from all blind spots. Having clearly gone mad from his defeat, the boss had decided to blow everything up and drag his enemy down with him. Unfortunately for him, the player Seo Jun possessed agile footwork and high speed, which easily supported a narrow escape. The moment he pulled himself to a safe distance, he couldn't help mentally cursing the boss. That bastard Eder just cast a self-destruction spell, and thanks to that terrifying noise, the guards were instantly drawn in, frantically rushing toward him. Over there, the assassin is over there. Beneath the glowing, perfectly round red moon, Seo Jun knew he couldn't fight off enemies from all four directions, so he decisively turned around and bolted amidst the roaring shouts behind him. Catch that assassin! After navigating through the vast space, he finally set foot in a dense forest filled with thick foliage and pure white fog. But no matter how peaceful the surroundings looked, it couldn't stop Seo Jun's legs from moving unceasingly. His decision not to pause for even a single second proved to be entirely correct. The moment an enemy arrow whistled through the air behind him, his sharp instincts allowed him to perceive the killing intent, closing in from behind at breakneck speed. Regrettably, right as he reached the edge of a towering precipice, Seo Jun took a hit, and without a shadow of a doubt, he plunged freely into the vast expanse, a look of astonishment flashing across his face. The brilliant moon in the sky still shone silently, but the distance between it and Seo Jun grew so far he would never reach it again. A bead of sweat trickled down his cheek. Even trapped in mortal peril, his gaze retained absolute composure, as if none of this concerned him at all. No miraculous rescue arrived in the nick of time, and Dane's life ultimately ended in the rushing waters of a river. Time passed as the dark, grueling night yielded to the warm morning sun, which finally woke up after yielding the sky to the high moon. Drifting aimlessly for a long while, the current finally deposited Seo Jun's motionless body onto a tree-shaded riverbank. Fresh blood slowly trickled down his slender hand, mingling with the calm water below. Just as the entire space fell silent in mourning, someone's footsteps softly crunched over the grass. In no time at all, the newcomer closed the distance to the lifeless body lying before them. Without showing the slightest curiosity as to why the body was lying there, he simply squatted down and pulled an falcon-shaped emblem from Seo Jun's clothing, which reflected the dazzling morning sunlight and made it stand out starkly against the surroundings. Pulling into a triumphant smirk, the person completely covered from head to toe turned out to be none other than Seo Jun, having been shifted out of the Dane avatar as the system transitioned his consciousness back to the real player's character to serve the game's narrative. Surprisingly, this cool comeback earned sighs of despair and critique from the veteran viewers in Seo Jun's stream. "This cutscene is the exact same as always. Dane has to die every single time." Blatantly unfazed, he declared with a neutral expression, "If I were controlling him, I would have parried that arrow. Such a shame." The viewers instantly jumped into banter. "Total mood killer, bro, but the bitter part is, I honestly believe you could actually do it. You're built different, seriously." Seeing this, Seo Jun looked bewildered. Talk about a harsh crowd. The next second, seeing that the chat had dragged on long enough, he gave a loud clap, promptly steering the conversation back on track by posing a question to the screen before him. "What do I do next?" Immediately, an experienced viewer suggested, "Go to the tavern and talk to Christina, boss." He repeated it for confirmation. Christina. When he raised his head once more, what greeted Seo Jun's pupils was a signboard featuring a beer mug and a sun symbol. Come to think of it, that cutscene probably auto-fast-traveled me straight to the tavern. Without a trace of hesitation, he walked up to the door handle and pulled it open. Like stepping into an entirely different world, the interior buzzed with lively chatter, contrasting sharply with the outdoor silence. Amidst the bustling noise, Christina stood out like a ray of sunlight thanks to her golden hair catching the gentle indoor light. Facing this dazzling visual, Seo-jun couldn't help mentally marveling. Bingo! Judging by this interface design, this is definitely where the interaction happens. Closing the distance to her, he successfully drew the attention of the female bartender behind the counter. Facing the gentle curve of Seo-jun's smile, Christina slowly delivered her line. "How can I help you?" Looking up with a breezy expression, he gave a firm nod and answered honestly. "Help me? Yeah, I need plenty of things, actually." The moment he lifted the falcon emblem that had belonged to the Avatar Dane, Seo-jun felt like facepalming internally, because that cinematic sequence had triggered on autopilot again. Meanwhile, Christina's blue pupils dilated intensely the second she laid eyes on the emblem. Her hands, which had been cleaning a glass, began trembling violently and uncontrollably. Her eyebrows knitted tightly together, and her tone turned heavier than ever as she asked a three-word question. "Who are you?" Flashing a textbook mysterious yet capable smile, which was clearly controlled by the system, Seo-jun replied, "No need to be so defensive. I'm just here because I thought I could help you." Looking as though she didn't quite grasp what he meant, Christina hesitated and asked back, "What do you mean?" Ditching the fluff, he cut straight to the chase with his next line. "Let's just say I'm quite confident in my assassination skills." After a long pause of processing that answer, the panic on her face vanished, replaced by stern seriousness. "Wait, are you from the West?" Seeing her follow up with a rhetorical question framed as a statement, Seo-jun admitted without hesitation. "That's right. Have you heard of me?" To fit the game's lore, his background was built around Christina's perspective. Word is he's a mercenary who takes any job for the right price. If that's true, he definitely doesn't belong to the cult. After a lengthy analysis in her data processing center, she gave a slight nod to make her official decision. "All right. At least we should exchange names. I'm Christina, and you." Facing this reasonable question, Seo-jun regained full control of his body and uttered a word. "I'm." Before he could finish, a white text box popped up on the screen asking, "What is your name?" with an input button below it. The viewers who had followed him from the beginning couldn't hide their surprise. "Oh, finally bothering to set an account name? Wait, Seo-jun is your real name? That actually sounds pretty decent, not gonna lie." Paying zero attention to the chatter, he fell into deep thought. "My livestream handle is currently set to Shin Seo-jun because I didn't set a nickname at the start, so the system just grabbed my real name. Might as well play it safe. Using my real name is fine." However, when the answer to Christina's question slipped past his lips, it was an entirely different name. Nameless. Without a second thought, Seo-jun flashed a brilliant toothpaste commercial smile and emphasized it again. "My name is Nameless." The viewers watching live lost their minds. "Wait, hello? Why would you name yourself Nameless? Literally, are you seriously that lazy?" Little did they know his brain had drifted back to old memories. Sounds a bit silly now, but back in my day, the name Nameless was insanely popular. The wuxia trend was real. Everyone rushed to pick the exact name Seo-jun chose. "My name is Nameless, and I'm Nameless #2. The corners of his lips curved upward. It technically means having no name, but it sounded so mysterious and cool back then that it was a massive trend. After typing in the two chosen characters, the system prompted him once more to confirm. "Do you want to use the name Nameless?" The moment Seo-jun confirmed by hitting "Yes," the notification updated. "You can now accept assassination requests at the Sun Tavern," followed by Christina continuing her NPC guidance tutorial. "All right, so Nameless it is." To steer the plot straight into the main topic, he directly posed a question fitting the scenario. "So how are we supposed to contact each other from now on?" She slowly raised her hand toward Dane's falcon emblem, delivering her continuation line. "I need to track down the owner of this pin." But the viewers could only feel sympathy for her cold facade. "Poor Dane, that's so cold-hearted." Their comments didn't sway Seo-jun's response. "I buried him at the Western Docks." Her body froze for a brief second before she replied, "I understand." Brushing past that topic, she handed him a flower-shaped emblem with a gloss comparable to the previous falcon pin. "Use this to contact me from now on." The moment Seo-jun accepted the item, the system popped up a status update. "You have obtained a signal stone." Right after, Christina spoke in her signature gentle tone, emphasizing every word. "I'm counting on you, Nameless." After finishing his conversation with her, he finally achieved his goal and left the tavern, returning to the familiar quiet outdoors. Breathing a sigh of relief while rubbing his shoulder, he muttered, "Got the signal stone. Guess the quest is done for today." Instantly, a user named Patient Riding a White Horse chimed in. So are we just gonna call the streamer nameless from now on? Such trivial matters weren't worth stressing over, so Seo Jun agreed flatly. Yeah, but I still haven't figured out a channel name, so you guys can call me whatever for now. Naturally, Jome, who had evolved into his hardcore fanboy, chimed in. Oh, Nameless is the absolute most fitting name for an elite assassin. Because he had spent way too long inside the VR capsule clearing the newbie tutorial, he made his choice under the gentle sunlight. All right, everyone, I'm logging off the stream here. I'll be back live tomorrow at this exact time. The viewers who stuck it out until the end cheerfully replied. Great job on the first stream, bye-bye. Since this was his first time truly communicating with strangers through a screen, he felt a little awkward lifting his hand to wave. Stream goodbye. True to his view-attracting physique, Seo Jun immediately spawned a comedic moment. Wait, you guys are just leaving like that? Prompting Patient Riding a White Horse to reply instantly. Well, yeah, we turn off the app and leave. What else were we supposed to do, old man? The moment his avatar turned into a stream of light and nearly vanished, he couldn't help asking, does this thing auto-save the game or what? Prompting the remaining viewers to type. I swear this newbie is providing comedy gold right till the very final second. Lord, this newbie is too adorable. But no matter what, this live stream officially concluded the moment Seo Jun returned to the still brightly lit room upstairs. Looking at the numbers displayed on the electronic screen, along with the notification that the live stream had ended, he couldn't help pondering before letting out a startled murmur. Wait, all 6 viewers actually stayed until the very last second. Reminiscing about the viewers who had left such a distinct impression in his heart, even Seo Jun had to admit, their usernames looked pretty unique and edgy. At that exact moment, something suddenly appeared and caught his attention. It turned out that a user named Future Light had somehow joined Seo Jun's broadcasting room. Is this a kamikaze-style livestream channel? Being a newbie lacking experience, he felt utterly confused. I didn't see this notification pop up earlier though, and it seemed the viewer count kept continuously rising, plunging Seo Jun into deeper bewilderment than ever. Why are people suddenly joining? I clearly turned the live stream off already. Following Seo Jun's sensational live stream, his phone screen flickered incessantly with a barrage of comments and hot news about Nameless surging straight to the top, making the quiet room instantly lively. Lounging on the bed, scrolling through the feedback while casually dragging down the rapidly refreshing chat, Kim T-Woo couldn't help marveling. Today's stream feedback isn't bad at all. What kind of content should I make tomorrow? Just as he was lost in thought, Seo Jun suddenly shoved the door open from outside and roared with fierce energy. Hey, Kim T-Woo! The phone in his hand instantly flying straight into the bridge of his nose. Damn it, you scared the hell out of me. Cupping his face, which had just taken the full counterattack from his own device, he gnashed his teeth in grievance. Did you eat your dinner tonight and swallow your manners along with it? Ignoring the other's impending meltdown, Seo Jun immediately thrust his phone forward with a questioning expression. Since I'm just a fresh rookie, why did it turn out like this? T-Woo raised his head in confusion. What? Pointing at the screen where countless player accounts and cascading comments kept popping up, he voiced his doubt. Why is the chat still scrolling continuously even though the live stream is already off? Witnessing firsthand how his friend had suddenly blown up in popularity, T-Woo fell into a momentary daze before gasping. Seriously. After checking back and forth and scrolling endlessly through the trending forum posts, T-Woo finally spoke up. I think it's because of this. Saying that, he spun the phone screen towards Seo Jun and bluntly asked with a definitive tone. This is you, right? On the handheld mobile device was a recorded video of him clearing the Dawn of the Assassin's tutorial alongside a sensational title. A newbie parries and wipes out 13 mobs simultaneously during the tutorial. Seeing the share count skyrocketing while the comment section buzzed like an online marketplace, T-Woo instantly looked envious. How do you do it? Right on your first debut stream, you clear the game and immediately get fans promoting you for free. Meanwhile, Seo Jun was blankly confused by this unfamiliar phrase, promoting. Seeing that he still hadn't processed the situation, T-Woo pointed straight at the post, narrowing his eyes and emphasizing every single word to him. If this isn't free promotion, what is? By now, the comment count had hit 154. This guy's mechanics are seriously insane. He's clearing the tutorial boss like it's Dynasty Warriors. A clean parry is top tier, genuinely god tier. After watching this, I guarantee nobody else can replicate these skills. Look at that play right there, he's a living legend. I want to promote this guy so bad, I want to share this with literally everyone. This is too wild. Seo Jun suddenly recognized one of them. Undefeated assassin of South Korea was that viewer from earlier, wasn't he? Taking the phone back from his hands, Ti-woo made an evaluation. At this rate, it's about to hit 30 upvotes, right? Then, drawing on his own experience as a streamer, he grinned excitedly and let Seo-jun know. Once it hits 30 upvotes, it gets pushed straight to the homepage. Your follower count is gonna skyrocket after that. After that, he didn't forget to give a thumbs up while sporting thick dark circles under his eyes. Go to sleep, bro. You stayed up all night grinding the live stream yesterday. Absolute pro. But Seo-jun replied blandly, go to sleep right now? What kind of pro am I? Even though he said that, with the starlit sky stretching out, Seo-jun still lay there scrolling on his phone because this experience was genuinely too fresh to him. Though he had observed for quite a while, he didn't get bored and continued muttering, the upvotes keep climbing. So this is what he meant by promotion, huh? Anyway, it was getting too late, so Seo-jun decided not to dig any deeper, placing his phone down on the table. Guess I'll see what happens tomorrow. The moment the room plunged into silence, likes and comments continued to surge rapidly beneath that video, as if no one intended to sleep. The next morning, early sunlight pierced through the clouds and blanketed the dense cluster of skyscrapers, causing the glass exterior of the buildings to reflect brilliant light across a corner of the sky. Witnessing the string of posts and trending search topics, Seo-jun had to admit, just as Kim Ti-woo predicted, the upvotes had already surpassed the 30 mark. Using his own rational data processing center, instead of feeling overjoyed, he couldn't help feeling anxious. Whenever something gets slightly hyped, faction wars and arguments are bound to follow. While he was still focused on scrolling down, his sharp eyes suddenly paused midway as something caught his attention. The computer mouse immediately flickered back up to the newly appeared post. This is the Assassin's Guild forum, but people are posting about the training ground too. Clicking on it revealed a fully shared post with the title, Why is the newly updated level 10 AI so frustrating? Everyone already knows the level 10 AI changed from Haeyeon's data to another player's data, right? The display name is Nameless. Guess that's why everyone's curious about Nameless's identity, but I want to talk about his personality instead. I watched a clip of an acquaintance fighting Nameless. Here's the clip. Got permission from the uploader before posting. Sweat trickled down his cheek. Seo-jun couldn't help being slightly surprised since that AI was clearly reconstructed from his own data. Personality. Meanwhile, the poster continued rambling on. The Shin Haeyeon AI used to just stand and wait if the player dropped their sword, right? It would just quietly wait for the player to recover after taking a hit, until I ran into the level 10 guy configured with Seo-jun's attributes. This Nameless AI literally pounces on the player the second they leave an opening, like it struck gold. The second you make a tiny slip-up, this bastard completely smashes you to pieces no matter how much you scream. I surrender. Not stopping there, this AI was exceptionally asking for a beating by extending its hand and gesturing, bring it on, driving everyone who encountered it to scream. It even makes a disgusted face. Not just one person was affected. A flurry of enraged comments crashed straight into Seo-jun's head. What the hell? Regarding the toxic attitude of the new level 10 AI version, he suddenly remembered. I guess I was chatting with Ti-woo while playing back then, so it just turned out like that. Plus, during the data update, it felt like an endless grind, so I got bored and stopped putting in effort. I'm actually a bit wronged here. Even though he had barely been in this VR game for a day, Seo-jun had already been slapped with the label of a toxic troll who loved provoking people, making his heart genuinely ache. So unfair. Just as the forum was split into an intense debate, a social media account suddenly left a notable comment. Just finished watching a clip from the training ground and came straight here. Let me ask, is that Lord Nameless? Reading this, Seo-jun paused for a split second. Someone figured it out, but the moment he looked closely at the commenter's username, all tension instantly drained out of him. Ah, it's old man Jome, undefeated assassin of South Korea, of course. Does this guy have a God-given sixth sense or something? At this point, I'm actually starting to get creeped out. Leaning back in his chair while staring at the endlessly climbing comment thread, he silently reassessed the situation. Honestly, I never expected to get this much attention. Closing his eyes for a few brief seconds. For the first time, Seo-jun clearly felt the pressure of fame arriving way too fast. Getting something too huge too suddenly isn't necessarily a good thing. Yet that thought only lasted a fleeting moment before he brushed it aside. Didn't my past life experience already teach me that lesson? Opening the lid of the VR gaming capsule placed next to his desk, Seo-jun calmly arrived at his conclusion. Power when you aren't ready for it is nothing more than poison. Sitting down inside the capsule to prepare for logging into the game, he firmly muttered to his inner self. Just like this, slow and steady. And then the system's consciousness transfer module went to work the moment Seo Jun closed his eyes. The next instant, Seo Jun's eyes opened once more, filled with the determination and sharpness of a sword god who had weathered countless trials. Getting a little bit better every day is enough, until the final word dropped, marking the moment the system's light flickered on to prove it was working diligently. A moment later, checking his livestream page and seeing it reach 432 followers, he finally had to concede. Just like T. Wu said, the follower count is visibly surging. Looking at the stream of data jumping continuously before him, a slight curve formed on Seo Jun's lips as the vibrant memories of yesterday replayed in his vision. Though in reality, the actual number of people watching live yesterday was only 6. However, he didn't linger in the waiting space for too long before firmly placing his hand on the Start Broadcast button. Wonder how many people will show up today. The moment the live stream button was activated, the system interface flashed brightly, and a notification popped up right in the middle of the screen. Shin Seo Jun has started broadcasting. Right after the game officially opened its first introductory segment into a place completely different from Dawn of the Assassins, as he entered the city of Eltian. Low, dramatic music played out while a majestic, ancient castle stood tall before his eyes. The setting of this game is the city of Eltian. For a player needing to execute a mission, the system didn't forget to provide additional data. This place is divided into 4 main areas: the Imperial Palace, reserved for the royal family and highest-ranking authorities; the Upper Tower, where priests and mages reside; the Upper District, where nobles live; and the slums located on the outermost edge of the city, meant for commoners and all sorts of characters hustling to scrape by every day. Seo Jun's mind whirred continuously. Players can accept assassination quests anywhere, but I heard during actual gameplay, you can still go around assassinating targets randomly without accepting quests beforehand. After all the introductory information concluded, his journey in Eltian officially began, and the exact moment his body was no longer controlled by the system was the moment he raised his hand to wave at the screen. Hello, live streamers. Right at that second, the previously quiet chat room instantly erupted like a smashed hornet's nest. Finally got into the room, let's go. Finally managed to enter this legendary livestream channel. Oh wait, this isn't Jome's channel for real? Getting goosebumps. Lord Nameless. While the crowd spammed crazily, an out-of-loop account popped up in confusion. Is this the livestream channel of the famous Jome? Less than a second later, others rushed in to refute fiercely. No way, bro, you're in the wrong channel. Holy crap, seriously. Seo Jun chuckled calmly and briefly explained with a casual tone. That's right, this isn't Jome's channel, and just to clarify, I didn't bribe him either. His words made them burst into laughter, shutting down the debate in a single note. Just as the atmosphere was cheerful, an unexpected donation notification popped up in the middle of the screen. How on earth am I supposed to do this? Donated 10,000. I watched your clip, tried soloing it myself and couldn't beat it. What do I do now? I'm gonna hold my breath waiting for your answer. Looking at the first donation amount he had ever received right before his eyes, he raised an eyebrow sentimentally. My first donation. But why did you go into the forest? However, not dwelling on it too long, following the motto that getting paid means delivering work, he didn't hesitate to toss advice to the viewer. Thanks to how on earth am I supposed to do this? For the donation. That editor guy? Just lock onto a single spot and keep hammering it, super easy, right? As a result, the chat fell into a bewildering silence for a few seconds before erupting in unison. What on earth is teacher writing on the blackboard? Is that guide supposed to be helpful? As someone who watched yesterday, I advise everyone not to ask this guy anything. 10,000 just went straight down the drain. Seeing them chat like that, he lapsed into thought before concluding. It's someone's first time donating money, and my answer might have sounded a bit too vague, huh? So Seo Jun rubbed his chin in thought for a moment and spoke up. All right then, if I had to give a genuinely useful tip. Musing over the enemy's weak points on the shoulders, head, and groin, he gave pointers. It's best to aim straight for the NPC's critical spots. Once they get hit there, they'll panic and their footwork will break. Finally, wrapping up the advice on how to handle Eder. Just pound away at one spot, time your strike for when they leave an opening, and dodge super agilely. As soon as he finished speaking, an account name done with it donated 1,000. I can finally breathe, while others chimed in, hilarious as hell. But Seo Jun looked confused. Congrats, my friend. Not stopping there, he glanced at the new usernames that had just commented and wondered. Looking closely, there are a lot of unfamiliar nicknames I've never seen before. How many viewers do I have right now anyway? His finger froze midair when he saw the astonishing number displayed on the electronic screen. There are currently 327 live viewers. The chat urged him on. So when are you dropping a guide for us? Or is my network lagging all by myself? While he lost all composure. 327 people. This made Seo Jun, who had been through countless massive events in his past life, break out in a cold sweat in this life. Way more than I imagined. I thought at most it'd hit around 100 people. Brushing that aside for a moment, he glanced around cautiously and curiously asked everyone, "All right, so what should we do today, guys?" Prompted by the fans, the audience in the chat began fiercely suggesting, "Do a Dynasty Warriors-style rampage streamer. Finally gonna get to see some swordplay." Seeing them make a ruckus on the internet arguing over trash talk, he chuckled amusedly. These kids playing together are having so much fun, please don't fight. At this moment, a netizen's account directly suggested a better option than the guys above. Just stroll around and see what's up, boss. If you want to make money, take quests from the Assassin's Guild or try pickpocketing. Otherwise, just sightsee around the city. Awesome, true open-world vibes. Every suggestion sounded reasonable, leaving Seo Jun hesitant. Everyone's got a different idea. Seeming to have figured something out, the corners of his lips curved into a mischievous smirk. Well then, standing in the bustling street, Seo Jun directly made a bold decision. Let's pull off a few casual pickpocketing jobs to warm up first, shall we? Bustling noises echoed continuously throughout the small alley. Super cheap, dirt cheap right here. Come check out these rare goods, folks. Mom, buy me this. Suddenly a street rider appeared, acting arrogantly and disrupting things. Get out of the way. The man didn't suspect a thing as a dark shadow zipped past him. Then he aggressively shouted back in reprimand. Hey, what kind of walking is that, bastard? Can't you watch where you're going? Until the person walked completely away, the alley still echoed with his curses. Unruly little punk. Seo Jun not only didn't get angry, but he skillfully maneuvered through the sea of people. He faintly smiled in satisfaction. I tried applying some grappling techniques, and it turned out to be so easy. Successfully pickpocketed 3 times in a row now. The chat instantly went into a frenzy. Wait, is this a wuxia martial arts stream or a thief simulator? What kind of streamer is this? Did he crawl out of the slums? Word is this guy transmigrated from a wuxia world. Netizens had a huge laugh. Anyway, the most fun part of pickpocketing is getting chased to hell and back by the guards, making Seo Jun even more confident. At this rate, I'll never have to worry about starving wherever I go. He pulled out bulging pouches of gold to show off, startling everyone. Big boss, you just made enough money to buy a luxury apartment. Suddenly, a deep voice broke the quiet atmosphere. Hey, brat, stop right there. A tall figure had approached Seo Jun's territory without him noticing. He probed with slight suspicion. Me. The annoyed guy cross-examined him. Yeah, who else? Looks like you made quite a decent score just now. He slowly stepped closer with a hint of implication. You know that doing business in this territory requires permission from our crew, right? While Seo Jun kept a completely calm expression. Business. He cut straight to the point. You mean this? The guy looked delighted. Yeah, exactly that. He flashed a cunning expression and proposed. Looks like your harvest was pretty fat. Share some with us, will you? Making Seo Jun sigh helplessly. What kind of game is this? You don't run into guards when pickpocketing, but you run straight into thugs shaking you down. The comments kept pouring onto the screen continuously. Open world freedom is wild. Beat 'em all to pulp, pro. Time for a beatdown. Finally gonna get to see it, right? Seo Jun coldly swatted the guy's hand away. Let's clean these guys up too, team. They quickly grew more excited than ever. That's right, go right ahead. You just need to smack the boss around and you're done. Take down their ringleader and this whole market will be squeaky clean. Seo Jun smiled and tucked the money pouch away. Well then, today's stream goal will be to clean up this entire market. The screen instantly flooded with a barrage of comments. Is Pro planning to take on the Butcher Gang right now? Planning to test your strength against the Butcher Gang? This is too good to miss. I bet this streamer doesn't even know what the Butcher Gang is. His face instantly went blank. What's a parry? While the viewer count steadily climbed. All right, let's hit the road. Somewhere else, chaotic noises echoed. He couldn't have gone far, find him. Logan felt thoroughly annoyed at having lost the prey that was right in front of him. Suddenly, a hand peeked out from above, as if trying to conceal its existence. Alpaca's face turned completely pale while executing a bare-handed assassination challenge. Oh crap! Looks like I got caught again. He watched the battlefield below with difficulty. I swear this camera angle is garbage, seeming too deeply focused. He failed to notice the candle burning down to its limit right beside his hand. The candle dripped hot wax straight onto Logan's head. You little rat, he shouted angrily in warning. There you are. Alpaca's body froze as if hit by a paralyzing spell. Damn it, busted. The exact moment he got caught was the moment the system announced a game over. He was sent back to the starting line yet again. I've lost count of how many times their underlings have caught me now. Viewers through the screen couldn't help feeling helpless. That's 4 times now, oh God, making Alpaca extremely embarrassed. Thanks, he slumped dejectedly and sighed. As long as we take down Drake, Sector 4 is cleared, but it's so damn hard. Netizens were completely out of ideas. Can this even be cleared? Feels like it'll take till the year of the cat. The ruling bosses are fundamentally unbeatable. Ruling bosses was a term used for the gang leaders managing Sector 4 of Eltian, who were also the prominent villains of the game, including the Queen, who ruled the country, followed by the Master of the Magic Tower, who stood above 10,000 people, not to mention the royal leaders and prominent noble figures, and mob bosses of the Butcher Gang like Drake, especially Drake, who spawned randomly in hideouts, making hunting him down exhausting. Alpaca quickly opened the trading menu to look for the Butcher Gang's secret map, leaving viewers utterly bored. Not this again. He let out a heavy sigh to check where Old Man Drake was hiding. The result appearing before him made him even more exhausted. A theater troupe. He crawled into somewhere annoying again. The notification sound grew louder. Mad Dog donated 10,000. If you're at the theater troupe, just charge in and smash the map. Though I saw someone clear that map using a bare-handed build, why are you struggling this much? Alpaca asked with skepticism. Thanks to Mad Dog for the 10,000, but what does smashing the map mean? You guys know this game doesn't allow a rampage playstyle like that. The crowd was thoroughly stunned upon hearing that. No way, you don't browse the community forums. He quickly checked the community forums. Community forums. His eyes suddenly flashed with a glint of light. Oh, someone actually pulled it off on the forums. Thousands of wonderful daydreams painted themselves in Alpaca's mind. If that person managed to clear this map, then I'll bow down to them as my master and take down Old Man Drake with my own hands. All-night stream challenge, he promised with absolute certainty. I will stream continuously until I clear Old Man Drake under Master's guidance. The comment section instantly became lively. Student gave up donated 10,001. Are you willing to take responsibility for that statement? But he maintained an arrogant posture and promised. I'll take it, what's to be afraid of? I'll take responsibility because it's impossible anyway. Donations are easy to get. Suddenly, chuckles transmitted from the screen made him shudder slightly. A crazy thought flashed through Alpaca's mind. Wait, is this real? He asked fearfully in probe. Well, if the gamer who cleared that is a pro, I request permission to cancel the all-night stream, okay? The crowd immediately piled on to tease him. Chicken out already. The terrifying power of netizens was displayed once more. Wake up, Alpaca. Accept your defeat, kid. The donation amount kept climbing, turning his face sheet white. Mad Dog donated 10,001. Alpaca is done for. In stark contrast to that peaceful scene, Seo Jun's side had reached a peak state of chaos. Screams echoed continuously through the air. The intruder went downstairs, stop him at all costs. Dozens of guards gathered to box in the prey. Yet Seo Jun's calm and collected demeanor still left everyone astounded. Looks like Pro is about to clear the stage. Flashing back 30 minutes before Fist God's comment appeared, footsteps echoed heavily and urgently through the narrow alley. The chat kept discussing animatedly. Where are they dragging him? This alley looks shady as hell. Seo Jun shook his head despondently. Guess I'll just tail them for now. But netizens immediately shot him down. You don't have any reputation yet, no way you're extracting info on Drake. They chimed in with warnings in unison. If you want to find the traitor within the gang, you gotta clear the related side quests first, making him curious. Is this gang that hard to take down? Viewers couldn't help feeling helpless. My man, you're trying to overthrow an entire ruling faction. What makes you think it's easy? Seo Jun's face instantly went blank. What the hell is a ruling faction? The live chat instantly flooded with comments. As expected of our streamer, for any newbies tuning in, does this remind you of what's a parry? LMAO, are you trolling us? Everyone burst into breathless laughter once more. I'm dead. Donated 1,000. He doesn't even know what a ruling faction is, yet he wants to hunt them down. Seo Jun's eyebrows knitted together. Well, I'm asking what it is, aren't I? Can someone explain? The crowd started throwing shade. What expectations can you have for a guy who doesn't even know what a parry is? Making him feel a bit guilty. I checked the internet for anti-Drake strategies last night, but he let out a heavy sigh. All the guides expose the informants and get them killed, so none of the choices feel right. Suddenly, he thought of a foolproof strategy. Then I'll just beat them to a pulp until they're too scared to even think about revenge. Super simple. Suddenly, Jaden's voice woke him back to reality. Hey you, spit out anything good you got while I'm still talking nicely. He smiled cunningly. And hand over that wallet you pickpocketed earlier too. The viewers couldn't help feeling embarrassed on his behalf, knowing things would turn out like this and feeling zero surprise. He already took on 13 people at once. This guy is just a walk in the park. Jaden hadn't sensed the danger yet and boldly stepped closer. Are you out of your mind? I said, cough it up. Even Trevor beside him chuckled. Boss, looks like this little punk has gone completely mad from fear. They kept mocking Seo Jun's posture. Go easy on him, boss. Oh look, are we scaring you? Be smart and hand over the cash and we'll spare your worthless life. Only the netizens realized the truth. Judging by his face right now, he looks beyond pissed. Seo Jun calmly probed, do you guys know where Drake is? Hearing that, Jaden looked slightly confused. He's our big boss, of course we know. He lowered his voice, gritting out each word. Where? Driving the guy into a fury. Are you crazy? What on earth makes you think we'd spill it to you? Seo Jun gently clenched his hands into fists. Is that so? A smile gradually surfaced on his handsome face. Then take a punch first and we'll talk later. He stated with amusement. Turns out a punch is always the easiest universal language to understand. While Jaden still hadn't figured out the issue. What the hell is this scumbag mumbling about? Enraged, he roared orders. Hey, jump him and teach him a lesson right now. The moment he finished speaking, they pounced forward, intending to gang up on Seo Jun. But his agile footwork easily dodged every single attack. His close-quarters combat skills also grew increasingly refined with each accumulated encounter. Dante roared in fury, you little rat. Without a moment of hesitation, he thrust his weapon straight towards Seo Jun. On the other hand, Seo Jun calmly grabbed the leg of the person in front of him. In less than a few seconds, he effortlessly knocked his opponent down. Dante was in such agonizing pain that his eyes dilated wide, his mouth gasping frantically for air from suffocation. But Seo Jun showed no intention of letting up as he drew his weapon to finish the game. Trevor couldn't hold back anymore and lunged into battle. You son of a bitch. He didn't hesitate to deal a devastating blow straight at Seo Jun. Just at the moment victory seemed assured, his body suddenly trembled violently. Seo Jun's gaze turned exceptionally sharp, directly overpowering his opponent with his sheer killing intent. Without wasting time on extra banter, he directly took down his opponent. His handsome face didn't have the slightest ripple, as if he was far too used to doing this. The space plunged into absolute silence, leaving Seo Jun standing all alone in the narrow alley. The comment section was thoroughly thrilled, enjoying a visual treat. Watching this map rampage is insanely addictive. Anyone thinking, maybe I should try it too, better stop dreaming right now. Jaden's face was completely drained of color. Damn it. The moment the thought of running away flashed through his mind, his body abruptly lost the ability to move. Seo Jun asked in a stern, interrogative tone, where is Drake? He still stubbornly stuck to his initial stance. Even if I die, I'll never. The moment he finished, the sword in Jaden's hand completely deformed under the overwhelming strength of the person before him. Seo Jun darkened his face and snapped, where is Drake? Leaving the netizens utterly exasperated. Dude, he passed out. He can't say a single word anymore. Why are you still asking? His eyes flashed with threatening, murderous intent. Answer me right now. The viewers couldn't help shuddering. Is this a brand new torture method? This guy is an absolute mad lord. Jaden trembled and managed to voice out, 13th Street. His entire body was squashed flat against the floor. The largest theater. The comment section instantly went wild. Even this makes sense? This guy is a literal demon incarnate. What kind of god-tier IQ was that just now, carving out a brand new path all on his own, giving me goosebumps? Student gave up donated 1,001. Eder, you tried your absolute best to stop a monster like this. Justice for Eder, for crying out loud. He sacrificed himself while doing his job. Seo Jun despondently toyed with the weapon in his hand. This dagger is way too short. It's so annoying to hold. He glanced around to survey the situation. Anything better around here? Suddenly, he spotted a useful item not far away. That one looks decent. The sound of metal clashing echoed continuously from one space to another. Thousands of people scattered and fled across the street, as if being a second late meant the end of their lives. Seo Jun's expression remained expressionless as he swept through the entire area. Utilizing his agile footwork, he easily disposed of anyone standing in his way. Even the most tenacious living souls had to bow down before his terrifying strength. Seo Jun calmly admired the achievements he had just created. He gave a despondent shake of his head. These game developers are way too heartless, cramming a whole 30 people into this tiny theater and expecting me to assassinate all of them. making the viewers furious. Who asked you to voice our inner thoughts like that? Suddenly, a bitter voice broke the silence, approved. The moment it ended, a bright object was launched midair as a declaration of war. Seo Jun's eyes widened in sheer astonishment, but he recovered his characteristic composure almost instantly. Suddenly, screeching sounds echoed out, directly shattering his mental packing. A barrage of flying daggers simultaneously closed in, as if trying to claim Seo Jun's body. His gaze turned icy and resolute. In a split second, a storm-like hail of blades rushed forward. Seo Jun instantly shattered the incoming attack with a powerful technique. So he's just gonna parry that too instead of dodging. His reflex speed is genuinely monstrous. Heavy footsteps accompanied a mocking voice. Not bad. Drake's lips slowly curved upward with a cryptic smirk. However, he boldly declared with a provocative posture, "Let's see if you can parry this hit of mine." The space shook violently. A flurry of swords shot forward like rockets. He maintained a nonchalant expression. "That's way too many." Seo Jun spun his weapon in a circle. His gaze turned piercing. The swords pierced straight into the wall. Deep, chilling cracks imprinted themselves onto the surface. Suddenly, a single sword whipped backward. It pierced clean through Drake's body and embedded itself deep into the wall. Insane. The corners of his lips curved into a knowing smirk. Incoming attacks, and he still parries them so smoothly. Is there a single damn thing in this world he can't parry? The viewers cheered. Exactly. The boss's eyes grew intrigued. "Pretty good fight, what's your name?" Seo Jun lowered his voice, carrying immense weight. "Nameless." The screen popped up with a notification. Normally, they don't even bother asking for names. He must be terrified out of his mind right now. Drake's expression mixed with complex emotions. "Good name. The strong deserve respect." Blood-red spears connected to chains hovered midair. Therefore, he boldly declared with a manic expression, "I'm gonna go all out." It charged forward at high speed. He faced it while maintaining a calm demeanor. Seo Jun was currently surrounded by heavy, moving chains. A spear suddenly attacked him from behind. In a split second, leveraging his agile footwork, Seo Jun delivered a powerful counterattack with his foot. He fell into a brief spell of contemplation. When he was just throwing daggers, I thought he'd be way easier to deal with than ever. Seo Jun's gaze darkened heavily. Turns out this exact weapon is what blocked everyone from clearing the game. Drake strode closer with murderous intent, while he muttered mockingly, calling it an assassination game yet investing this heavily in close-quarters combat. The screen immediately flashed a message. Plot twist. Maybe the devs actually want players to play as a kamikaze warrior. Close combat has been a vital part of Dawn of the Assassins from day one. The boss's lips twitched into a provocative smirk. "Not coming." Drake's eyes bulged with a manic expression. "Then I'm coming to you." He launched a direct frontal assault toward him. Seo Jun paused briefly as the iron chains prepared to strike. In a split second, they slid past him cleanly and decisively. Drake immediately rushed forward upon seeing Seo Jun backing away, while notifications flooded the chat. He's just standing there parrying the whole time. Even Nameless is gonna bite the dust against this Drake guy, I bet. That combo chain was unparryable right from the start. And he was acting all cocky earlier too. His expression mixed with complex emotions. This match is definitely harder to swallow than taking down 13 guys at once. Seo Jun still maintained his calm facade when facing it, but his lips pressed together. "Even if it's a mountain of blades and a forest of swords, I can still spot the path through." He rushed forward in a wild offensive frenzy. "They're blocking the way." The boss suddenly paused and asked suspiciously, "There are only two of you." Drake's expression warped when confronted with the overwhelming weapon. "You really think we'd let you just walk right through?" His footsteps stumbled backward. Drake's entire body trembled as he braced himself with all his might. Parry 3 times. Seo Jun's expression mixed with complex emotions. It's a one-hit kill for regular mobs, but against a boss like Drake, it's only enough to buy time for a single attack window. He was heavily protected by iron chains. Even that's tough to deal with because Drake's chains guard him so tightly, making it hard to land a clean hit that actually matters. The corners of his lips curved into a cryptic smirk. "But that doesn't apply to me." Seo Jun tightened his grip on his weapon. "Because I just need to execute the strike with absolute precision, and that's it." His expression turned dead serious. Seo Jun's footsteps imprinted themselves heavily and resolutely onto the ground. "A stance I've practiced and honed tens of thousands of times to sharpen my blade." Plant feet. He maintained his composure while gathering his internal energy. Then, channeling solid lower body strength, he assumed a top-tier stance. Seo Jun circulated his internal arts, generating an intense, suffocating pressure right before unleashing his strike. his eyes fiercely concentrated and sharp. Seo Jun's expression exerted absolute psychological dominance. A direct blow to the head left Drake stunned. The manic strength sent the boss crashing down. The screen practically exploded. What just happened? Drake's armor actually shattered, looked as easy as eating candy. Truth is, whenever someone makes something look super-duper easy, it just proves they're a certified pro. His expression mixed with complex emotions. Since this is virtual reality, the body feels a bit different, so I wasn't entirely sure at first. But in the end, it's totally fine. Seo Jun perceived every movement of his body. From foot placement, he controlled his body rhythmically, twisting his upper torso. Seo Jun lapsed into a brief moment of thought up to the trajectory of his arm. The corners of his lips curved into a knowing smirk. Every single moment was adjusted to the optimal posture. Suddenly, a chain surged forward like a storm. Even if the body feels different, it doesn't matter. Seo Jun's entire body went on high alert. He quickly stepped back to dodge the attack. The boss's face distorted with rage. "You bastard, die." Spears connected to chains aimed straight for Seo Jun. They wrapped tightly around the weapon in his hand. Seo Jun's gaze flashed with sharp, manic intensity. He decisively counterattacked, making the space feel as though it were shaking. The chains now lay scattered across the ground, snapped into pieces. That trick isn't gonna work a second time. Seo Jun's footsteps grew urgent. He leaped midair and delivered a finishing blow toward Drake. This is fun. Moments like this, getting to swing a weapon. The corners of Seo Jun's lips twitched mockingly. The sole proof of my past life. Blinding light blanketed the entire space. Sword stabbed deep into the ground. His eyes turned bloodshot with wild frenzy. Seo Jun poured all his strength into his hands. The powerful finishing blow made the space tremble. The boss's health bar was now completely depleted. He remained nonchalant at the incoming notification. "You have defeated the fake boss Drake. Reward, 1 fragment." A barrage of comments poured in. "Nameless is a god. Oh Lord, I get to witness the first person in the world clear the game again." Assassin Jome donated 101. "This is the true hope of the warrior school." Seo Jun chimed in excitedly. "Thanks to Assassin Jome for the 101. He paused, noticing the viewer count. Seo Jun's expression mixed with complex emotions. Since when did the viewer count get this high? Seo Jun's mood instantly went blank. He grew embarrassed, his cheeks flushing red. Seo Jun fell into a brief daze. Kim Ti-woo told me not to obsess over viewer numbers, but... Ti-woo aggressively interrogated. "Even if there's only one viewer at first, you gotta act your heart out. If people suddenly flood in to watch, you must never get arrogant. You listening or not, this is blood, sweat, and tears advice from your bro right here." The corners of his lips curved knowingly. "But how can you help it when it's this fun?" Seo Jun's expression mixed with complex emotions. "And this is the first time anyone in the world cleared it right." The comments rushed in. "This is how he proves his skills. Oh, for real, this is insane. This guy is playing an entirely different game all by himself." Blood dripped slowly from the iron pipe onto the ground as Assassin Spoon donated 10,001. "The scariest part is he actually took it down using a metal water pipe." The chat continued debating. "What are we supposed to do if this battle didn't have damage buffs?" "Do what? He'd still devour it anyway, which makes it even scarier." He replied indifferently. "Thanks to Assassin Spoon for the 10,001. Seo Jun's expression turned puzzled. "Wait, I got a question." Standing tall amidst the gloomy atmosphere, "The guards aren't showing up." The screen popped up with a notification. "The guards in this world are just like cops in movies. They never show up when you're doing a quest." Guards hiding in a corner, trembling. "The assassin is too terrifying." They immediately gave chase. "These guys are easy meat. Go take them apart." He fled in panic. "Save me?" The chat chimed in. "Figures, but when I tried pickpocketing, those guys swarmed me instantly." Seo Jun's expression was mixed with complex emotions as he said, "I see. Then let's get going, shall we?" The twilight gradually faded away. As he slowly walked down the bustling street, Seo Jun suddenly paused when a voice called out, "Nameless." A figure in black standing opposite him was completely covered in a hooded cloak. Seo Jun lowered his voice with a powerful weight. "Who's there?" Christina tightened her hooded cloak, her expression mixed with complex emotions as she said, "You've taken down Drake." A notification popped up on the screen. "Christina is drop-dead gorgeous." Christina immediately handed over a pouch with a sincere expression. "Thanks to you, we've taken another step closer to breaking free from oppression." Her expression remained calm. "Thank you, here is your reward." He paused momentarily with a suspicious gaze. "You have received currency." Seo Jun's expression turned puzzled. "I didn't even accept the quest to take him down, yet I still get a reward." A notification rang out. I was too busy staring at Christina's face. What on earth is happening here? Exactly, even if you don't accept commissions, they hand out rewards anyway. He sighed softly. I don't even have anywhere to spend the money. Chuckles echoed from the other side of the screen. There are iron pipes littered all over the street. Who needs cash anymore? Seo Jun grinned mockingly. If I'm not taking the money, why on earth did I kill him? Only Drake was probably wondering what the hell was going on. Christina slowly spoke up. Where are we heading next? He bluntly cut her off. Do I really need to tell you? Her expression was mixed with complex emotions. All right, Christina decisively turned around and left. Then I'll head out first. See you later, nameless. Seo Jun lapsed into a brief moment of thought, while maintaining a nonchalant expression. Then, Seo Jun's gaze drifted toward the ancient castle. Does this count as a successful assassination? A notification immediately popped up on the screen, as if I ever admitted this mess was an assassination. Do you even know what an assassination means? Comments were instantly posted. That shameless, clueless vibe is literally his charm. His eyes turned slightly confused. Is it time to celebrate the victory now? Seo Jun spoke up mockingly with a breezy demeanor. I've finished all the work that needed to be done. Now I'm gonna go party. A notification instantly cut him off. Hold on a second. Pleading sounds echoed back to back. Wait, how can things end this easily? He brushed the notification aside decisively. See you next time. Seo Jun was gradually sinking into a state of slumber. A moment later, he lethargically stretched as he woke up. Seo Jun froze upon seeing Ti-woo appear. He immediately challenged him with a dissatisfied expression. Hey, why are you so half-assed about this? What the hell are you doing in someone else's room? He raised an eyebrow and spoke indifferently. I had the day off, so I sat around watching your live stream. It's pretty addictive. Seo Jun suppressed his rising anger. Then why the hell are you watching it in my room? And get your foot off me right now. Ti-woo scoffed mockingly. My room is my room, and your room is my room too. Why gotta be so uptight? He frantically beat him with a pillow. From now on, kids, please go use the restroom quickly. A short while later, Seo Jun maintained his calm facade. We can continue now. How did the live stream go? Any feedback? Ti-woo stared intently at the screen and marveled. With 440 viewers, the vibe was pretty hype. He decisively snatched the phone away. Hand it over, let me see. The other complained angrily, my phone. The mouse cursor immediately moved across the screen. Seo Jun's expression darkened with wild frenzy. Where is Drake? The notification popped up, not yet. He's still dazed and hasn't woken up. A flurry of news articles flooded in. Who is that person? Nameless. A trending headline from now on, anyone who doubts Nameless is my enemy, likes 102. They told us to test at her strength, so he went and cleared Drake too. Any objections? Sounds like the title of some light novel. What is a fragment? I've never seen that item before. I played the beta and watched the ending, yet I've never laid eyes on that item. What? Wasn't that rewarded for defeating Drake? No, you don't just get it by beating Drake. It only drops if you beat him on the warrior difficulty. I am dying of curiosity. His expression mixed with complex emotions. Looks like there's still no concrete info on the order fragments. Seo Jun paused with a suspicious look. It only drops on the warrior difficulty. What on earth is this item actually used for? Negative comments popped up on the phone screen. If you guys are having this much fun with your inside jokes, I guess I'll just drop a like. Ti-woo's lips curved into a cryptic smirk. Usually when you start getting famous, you're bound to catch some hate. His expression mixed with complex emotions. You like getting attention too, right? Seo Jun lowered his voice heavily. What would you do if you ran into something like this? He remained nonchalant. What do you mean, what would I do? We've got 400 viewers, remember. Ti-woo strolled casually out of the room and marveled. There are over 10,000 followers tracking us on the community forums. He fell into deep thought. Is this telling me I need to get even more famous? But how? Seo Jun paused in suspicion. A barrage of articles was published. His expression turned puzzled. Alpaca, sharing info on the legendary final capsule of the late Great Master. The VR capsule. Views, 1.7 million. 3 days ago, he boldly declared with a provocative posture, I will keep trying until I take down Drake on warrior difficulty. I am paying my respects to my master. The corners of Seo Jun's lips slowly curved upward. Can you actually back up those words with actions? And I'll take responsibility by failing miserably. Ti-woo paused upon hearing a call. Ti-woo. He walked into the room and slowly spoke. Do you know the streamer named Alpaca? He replied casually. I know him. We've collaborated a few times. Why? The corners of Seo Jun's lips twitched cryptically. I've got a little favor to ask through him. Scene transition to the dense forest. Alpaca slumped dejectedly. I've lost count of how many times I've failed now. His expression darkened as he watched the screen. M3 is me. You play like total trash, just quit the game already. Give up on this bare-handed challenge. Alpaca's mood plunged into an abyss. Such a vicious little brat. I should have just finished off Drake using the reputation earned from assassinating other NPCs. He paused with a suspicious gaze. D-back suddenly appeared with a cold look. Alpaca trembled as he approached and whispered, D-back. It immediately spat in his direction. Everyone, D-back is here to cheer you guys on. The notification popped up. D-back is really here. Alpaca's face darkened with rage. No matter how many times I see it, I just can't get used to this gimmick. His gaze slumped helplessly. Is there even anything fun left to play? The notification popped up. If I succeed, I'll bow down to him as my master, learn from him, and keep trying until I defeat Drake on warrior difficulty. Alpaca froze in suspicion. What? Someone actually cleared it? Are you kidding me? He slowly reached toward the screen. Title link, Cunning Drake, tap to view. Alpaca's expression mixed with complex emotions. Seriously? You even faked this just to trick me. I told you those tricks don't work on me. An image of Seo Jun instantly popped up in the chat. First person to clear, nameless, Cunning Drake. He felt an intense chill run down his spine. What the hell, they actually beat it. Who on earth is this guy? Alpaca was still reeling from the shock. Nameless. A message was instantly sent. He opened it suspiciously. Oh damn it, I got played big time. What do I do now? Alpaca's gaze darkened. He stared intently at the incoming message from T-Woo. Scene transition to the high-rise building of the South Korean gaming company. Steam slowly rose from a cup of coffee. Bae-mo's lips curved into a satisfied smile. He slowly took a sip and marveled. Smells amazing. The door suddenly burst open. Boss. Bae-mo immediately challenged him. Don't you know how to knock? Kwok-hal awkwardly replied. My apologies, boss. Bae-mo frowned with an annoyed expression. What's so urgent that you're panicking like this? He rushed out. It's bad, boss, we're doomed. Kwok-hal's face instantly turned pale with unease. A ruling boss just got taken down. Hearing that, he slammed his hand down on the desk. And to make it worse, they solo cleared it. Bae-mo's gaze darkened. Which ruling boss? His voice dropped heavily. Drake. He sighed and marveled. Gave me a heart attack, thought it was something major. Drake. He was the weakest of the bunch anyway. Bae-mo maintained his nonchalant expression. Sooner or later, he was gonna get beaten anyway. Kwok-hal voiced his unease. But what if players start getting curious about the order fragments? He decisively waved a hand. Drop it, you're worrying over nothing. If all the order fragments are gathered, it might disrupt the current plan. But his gaze slumped heavily. Weren't you the one who designed the protection system and put it in the game in the first place? The order fragment surged with wild power. Order fragment 1-4. A hidden item obtained by defeating a ruling boss of Eltian through a special route. The space trembled as an offensive force struck. An item only obtainable by defeating a ruling boss via a solo clear. However, among them, the checkpoint ruling bosses cannot be beaten without mastering a specific ultimate technique. The notification popped up on the screen. Ultimate technique unlocked, obtainable via a special path. An expression of helpless lament echoed. Just let me tie the knot already, what a headache. A secret skill surrounded by numerous traps. That ultimate technique was also designed so players would have to spend a fair amount of time unlocking it. The screen turned blood red. You've been playing for over 10 hours, please take a break for crying out loud. Articles flooded the front pages. In other words, there's currently no reason to panic. Kwok-hal's expression mixed with complex emotions, but he still felt uneasy and hesitated. What if that 1 in a million chance actually happens? On top of that, what if the person who pulled it off is a streamer who just went live a few minutes ago? Bae-mo frowned angrily. You're too damn noisy, get back to work. He paused suspiciously for about 2 seconds. Bae-mo's voice dropped with heavy authority. How do you know he just went live? Sounds to me like you were watching live streams during work hours. Kwok-hal froze. Well, that's. His eyes bulged with annoyance. This time I'm actually docking your pay. He decisively turned around and left. Spare my life, boss. Bae-mo sprang to his feet, suppressing his fury. This kid is something else. We'll deal with this during the performance review. His mood grew flustered. They won't actually manage to collect all of them. Right. A skeptical voice slowly echoed. A joint live stream. Alpaca maintained his casual facade. Didn't I tell you beforehand? Suhan voiced his confusion. Today, for real. He stared intently at the newly updated info. You're actually going through with it? Seeing this collab has zero use for recruiting new talent. His expression mixed with complex emotions. Suhan, you're misunderstanding something. Alpaca clenched his fists and declared, he's not coming here as a regular guest. He sprang to his feet with an excited expression. He's an ultra VIP master guest everyone's fighting to get. Suhan immediately challenged him with a mocking tone. A master? Give me a break, he's only been streaming for a few days. Alpaca raised an eyebrow. You saw the system notification when it dropped, right? Do you want me to replay it for you? His voice dropped with intense hostility. So what if he's good at an assassination game? I only acknowledge pro gamers from professional leagues. Drop it. He sighed softly and spoke indifferently. This kid is impossible. Anyway, can you lend your backup capsule to Seo Jun later? Suhan frowned. What? You have a spare capsule, right? Alpaca remained nonchalant. I heard his sync rate is a bit low, but since you just upgraded to that expensive model, it should run great. He flatly and coldly refused. Absolutely not. Besides, didn't you just call him a master? How can a master have a trashy sync rate like that? At least make your tall tailies sound believable. Suhan turned around and walked away decisively. I'll sit back and monitor the feedback from this joint stream, so call me when he arrives. His gaze slumped as he marveled. This guy is so damn picky, why'd he suddenly blow a fuse? Alpaca froze in suspicion. Wait a second. He lapsed into calculated thought. Doesn't that mean he solo cleared it under completely subideal conditions? Oh Lord, just how terrifying must he be in real life? Is he an underground mobster for real? If I miss this stream, I'm gonna be living under a rock. Why'd I even agree to this? Screw it, I'm out. Alpaca's face darkened instantly. Damn it, suggesting this collab might have been a huge mistake. He paused suspiciously. A slow voice echoed, Great to meet you. Alpaca's face paled. What? The corners of Seo Jun's lips curved cryptically. My name is Shin Seo Jun. He was still reeling. A handsome guy, naturally gorgeous face. He looks way more normal than I imagined. In real life, he's even more handsome than his edited character avatar. And here I thought that was just the character creator's magic. Even with the default look, he's already perfection. His gaze turned puzzled. What is character editing? Comments poured in. Does this guy seriously not know anything? False advertising like this is insane. Absolute madman, bro. This is grounds for a lawsuit. Don't you feel guilty toward new viewers? Bigger eyes, higher nose, sharper V-line jaw, broader shoulders, more muscle. Alpaca grew annoyed and challenged them. We're still setting up. Get out of here. I had to break my back editing just to look halfway decent. T-Woo chimed in excitedly. Big bro, long time no see, I'm here too. Get in here, bro. He paused. T-Woo, long time no see. All right, please write this way. A simultaneous reply echoed, Pardon us. Seo Jun's expression mixed with complex emotions as he lapsed into thought. From the outside, you'd think this was just a normal house, but Seo Jun observantly noted the layout. It felt as though he had completely separated his workspace from his living space. So this is what a veteran streamer's studio looks like. Alpaca spoke casually. I'll go brew some coffee. You guys make yourselves comfortable and wait a moment. He responded eagerly. Let me lend a hand. T-Woo whispered with a confused look. Big bro, where'd you get the confidence to agree to that bet? What a good man. He frowned angrily. If you're only here to shade me, get lost. Seo Jun paused with a composed expression. Suhan walked into the room unexpectedly. Hello. His voice dropped heavily. I'm Lee Suhan, Alpaca's manager and editor. He maintained his nonchalant expression. Hello, I'm streamer Shin Seo Jun. A handshake was immediately executed. Seo Jun's expression mixed with complex emotions. What's this? Trying to intimidate me? Lee Suhan chimed in mockingly. You seem to be extremely good at games. He replied decisively, guess so. His gaze slumped heavily. I heard you only started playing recently. The corners of Seo Jun's lips curved cryptically. Actually, that's a secret. His footsteps froze instantly. What kind of trick is he trying to pull now? No way. That bastard Lee Suhan. He declared proudly, I used to play in the Pro League for a brief period about 7 years ago. Alpaca's eyes widened in astonishment. 7 years ago. He grew flustered and stammered, Pro League? You were that good back then too. What rank were you? Seo Jun answered decisively, rank 7. Suhan still looked confused. I seriously doubt that's true. There's no way someone who quit gaming for all those years could suddenly come back and play this well. He raised an eyebrow. Well, who knows? Stranger things have happened. He boldly declared with a challenge. Then let's have a solo match in the training room to see what you're made of. Seo Jun paused. Right now. Alpaca spoke slowly. Why'd you want a solo Seo Jun for? Suhan's voice carried provocation. Why else? I just want to test his skills out. T-Woo grinned mockingly. Seriously? You want to challenge him? He frowned and challenged back. What of it? He maintained his casual facade. Your attitude suddenly shot way up. I'm only saying this because I care about you, big bro. Seo Jun's expression turned confused. Why'd you suddenly turn so polite out of nowhere? T-Woo's expression turned dead serious. I genuinely advise you not to be foolish enough to solo this guy. His gaze still carried defiance. Why'd you think I'm gonna lose for sure? He remained nonchalant. This isn't even about winning or losing anymore. It's because. His expression turned dead serious. Ti-Woo declared proudly, "Big bro, this conversation better not leave this room." Got it. His voice dropped with heavy authority. "If you want to fight him in the training room, you'd be better off challenging the level 10 boss instead." He paused suspiciously. "What? Then don't tell me." Suhan's eyes carried confusion. "This guy is nameless." The start button appeared on the video screen. The first scene showed Seo Jun fencing against an AI, Shin Haeyan. The two blades clashed, sending off sparks and a piercing sound. Finally, unable to take it, its sword was completely cut in two by him. Watching this part, both Alpaca and Suhan looked shocked. Insane, absolutely crazy. The video kept playing. While clutching his head in panic, he said, "He actually did that, but that's AI Shin Haeyan." As the video neared its end, someone finally commented, "That match was totally one-sided. Except for the staged hits he took, he didn't get hit at all." Seo Jun's voice rang out. If he trained another 80 years, he might stand a chance. It left the two of them agape. Alpaca leapt up and said, "This guy's arrogance is truly insane." "Wait, suddenly I feel pressured about this joint stream." Seeing his attitude, Ti-Woo beamed with pride. "See, this is Shin Seo Jun." He couldn't help but feel helpless inwardly, thinking, "Why are you the one getting praised?" After watching the clip, Suhan fell into an unusual silence. While the other two chatted, he called out to Seo Jun. He turned back and obediently replied, "Yes." Somehow Lee Suhan was suddenly standing in front of Seo Jun. He looked like he was about to lunge and punch him. From now on, the other two lost the mood to joke and quickly tried to stop him. "Hey, Lee Suhan." "Bro, wait a second." Unexpectedly, he suddenly bowed his head and shouted, "I'll make you my boss." Ti-Woo was startled and hopped onto Alpaca. Others just laughed calmly. "What the hell? You had me worried for nothing." Seo Jun froze, his face blank. Suhan kept pointing at himself and declared enthusiastically, "Anyone good at games is a boss here. From now on, boss, just talk to me freely." On the outside, he looked puzzled but inwardly rolled his eyes. Being respected was fine, but by age he should call me ancestor, not boss. This kid, counting his past life, how old would I be? Ti-Woo had calmed down and was teasing with a smile. Since it wasn't a big deal, he let it go. His brother looked at his bewildered face, and as soon as he finished speaking, he got hit on the head with a cardboard box. While Alpaca pondered the strange issue, more importantly what happened 7 years ago, the other two started teasing each other. "If you're brave, come fight now." His gaze fixed on Seo Jun. "No way Seo Jun has been playing that long." The other, unaware and annoyed, shoved his face and said, "Your face really grinds my gears." "What did you say?" Seeing Alpaca so quiet, Lee Suhan nudged his elbow. "Hey, what are you two doing?" He pointed at the other two and announced, "The big live stream is about to start, boss. We need to get ready." Only then did he come to his senses. "Ah, right, it's time already." Remembering what he'd been thinking, Alpaca dismissed it to himself. "No, I must have been overthinking." He calmly called, "Seo Jun, shall we go?" Just as he was about to toss the box at Ti-Woo again, he turned and replied, "Yes." He gave directions, "First go to my machine room," but was cut off by an excited Suhan. "This way, please, boss." Though slightly embarrassed by the other's reverence, Seo Jun didn't refuse. "Thanks." Hearing that, he exclaimed happily, "Oh, truly a god," completely ignoring Alpaca, who had a bright red handprint across his face. What a flip-flopper, changing sides faster than flipping a rice cracker. A notification popped up. Alpaca has started his live stream, and countless comments flooded in with excitement. "It's here, thump, 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 thump. Been waiting this whole time, watching while holding a box of fried chicken." The screen showed Alpaca's cheerful face. Before getting to the main event, he asked a lead-in question. "Great to see you all again. You all know what today is, right?" The chat reacted with sarcasm. "As if we wouldn't know. Move Alpaca's face out of the way, please." Reading that made Alpaca grumble sadly. "What the heck? This is my stream. Isn't anyone here to watch me?" Viewers kept teasing. "Exactly. Yeah, got a problem." While he was sulking, a friendly comment appeared. "Of course not, I'm here to watch Alpaca." That cheered Alpaca up and he shouted, "Oh hey, boss with the golden tail, you really came to watch me." But the person's real purpose was to watch the non-stop grind stream. His mood kept swinging. "No grinding grind today, okay? This kid will send you to the island." Viewers found it funny and spammed laughing emojis. But someone noticed something else and asked, "Why aren't you grinding today?" Alpaca looked pleased at that question. "Why am I not grinding today? Good question." Then he stretched the tone out, "Because today is," and some joked with heartbeat sounds to hype it up. "Thump, thump, 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 thump." Finally, he revealed the answer with eyes blazing with determination. "The game, Warrior, is what we'll be partying on today." Someone jokingly commented, "This guy is hyped as hell." Then he pointed to a rather large wooden crate and introduced, Right now, I'd like to present the master who will teach me today's warrior techniques. When the wooden crate suddenly cracked open and a golden light flashed out, the chat went wild again. Did he just kidnap some grand master? What's with that dramatic effect? After the planks fell aside, Alpaca shouted excitedly, "Please welcome streamer Shinseo Jun, show yourself." But to everyone's surprise, the inside was completely empty, which left him stunned. The chat questioned, "What is this? Why hasn't a soul appeared yet?" They teased again, "Is this a phone collab? All right, calm down, Alpaca." But Alpaca focused on something else. Did something happen? Why isn't he there? Viewers offered guesses. That master is just an imaginary friend of Alpaca's. Shinseo Jun, yes, but the collab is tomorrow. Alpaca, oh my god. Shinseo Jun, I'm not coming because you haven't paid me enough. Alpaca, which made him angrily retort, "This isn't a phone collab, guys." But people didn't believe him. "Stop the lies. Looks like we'll have to grind through the night then. Let's go, everyone." Seeing that, Alpaca pulled out his final move. "Look at this. It's clearly written on the system board. We even planned a duel boost online afterward." Suddenly, a new notification appeared. Message from Shinseo Jun. He opened and read the message. "Hey Alpaca, it's Shinseo Jun." Two more messages from Seo Jun followed. I don't know how to get into your waiting room. Alpaca, could you send me an invite? Hee hee." Viewers all stared at the screen in surprise. The chat erupted again. "Typing hee hee is so savage. Is this acting or for real?" Meanwhile, Alpaca forced a smile and sent room in for 1,000. But inside, he was completely panicking. "That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Is this guy serious? Putting on a bit of theatrics to heat up the stream." After a bit of promotion, Seo Jun appeared with a bright smile. "Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'm streamer Shinseo Jun." The latecomer finally showed up. The two sat on the straw mat, and Alpaca waved it off as nothing. "Technically speaking, you're still a new mat." Hearing that, viewers shot barbs straight at him. A new mat who can't even get into the waiting room is a bit much. It's Alpaca's fault for not preparing earlier. And now this old man wants to learn from that new mat. While reading the comments, he secretly checked the screen. The pull was impressive, almost hitting 20,000 viewers. But then he sighed helplessly. Why does it feel? Cruel teasing comments appeared. "Forget real life and grind in game. Isn't your life already a game? Go back to your true self, even noobs beat you. You've been too busy living real life lately." The chat in this room was kind of toxic. Seeing Alpaca's glum look, Seo Jun guessed to himself that turning streamers into a joke had become its own content trend. Each stream's chat window differs depending on the streamer's personality. Some streamers like to bully viewers. "Any kid want to act up more?" "I'm sorry, boss. I won't do it again next time." "As you command, boss. Soldiers are truly magnificent." "Chat banned for a day, wonderful." Meanwhile, other streamers aim for a perfectly clean broadcast. Civilized. But I quite like this free, easygoing atmosphere. Though I like it, the teasing comments went too far. "You chicken player, please quit gaming. Look at that skill level." "What now? Making an old man like me helpless. Please respect your elders a little. I hope they won't roast me for my skill level." After some banter, Alpaca clapped once. "Now then, to the main point. As you all know, because Seo Jun defeated the Drake, I ended up having to take on this endless grind stream bet." Just as he got serious, the chat struck again. Some idiot account generously donated 1,001. "If anyone can pull that off, I'll make them my master, learn from them, and stream grinding non-stop until they defeat the Drake on the new warrior mode." "Oh, chat hurts me." He ground his teeth and threatened. "I'll block you for real. Hear me? I should smack that loudmouth to shut them up." But they weren't scared. Is Alpaca getting roasted right now? He couldn't hold it. Seo Jun turned his face and covered his mouth. Even concealed like that, Alpaca saw it. "Don't stand there laughing, Seo Jun. If you hadn't defeated that Drake, I wouldn't be stuck with this endless grind stream." He's paying for his own actions. He chuckled and replied, "That's true. I do feel a bit responsible, Alpaca." Hearing that, Alpaca said with satisfaction, "Right." But Seo Jun's next words stole his smile. "It's my fault for killing it without realizing someone out there confidently claimed Drake couldn't be beaten in warrior mode on day 2 after release." Alpaca felt like crying inwardly. "If you say it like that, where am I supposed to hide my face? What am I supposed to do now?" Viewers seized the chance to tease. "The roasting bet starts now." Translation, "Sorry, but it's totally your fault. Alpaca is so stupid." He stared at Seo Jun, smiling and chatting with the comments. He was unexpectedly sweet. Seeing how relaxed the other guy looked, Alpaca thought, with that many viewers, he doesn't seem worried at all. On the contrary, he looks like he's genuinely enjoying it. "I can relax and keep streaming now." After thinking that, he put on a cute face and said, "Yes, I know it was my fault. So please save me from my past mistakes, master." Seo Jun modestly nodded. "I'll do my best, Alpaca." Hearing that, Alpaca held up 2 fingers and happily began outlining today's stream missions. All right, let's get started. There are 2 main parts I'll do with Seo Jun today. The first part is to enter the game with Seo Jun to receive his guidance. The second part is still a secret, until this warrior grind stream bet succeeds. Before we jump into battle, let me ask, Seo Jun, which basic skills have you upgraded? He was a bit surprised and blurted, skills. Then he honestly admitted, I haven't upgraded any of them. This made him ask in astonishment, seriously, who still grinds by hand these days and refuses to upgrade any skills? You've never used a single skill before. What about basic passives that boost attack speed, movement speed, or damage? It was a truly masochistic situation. Seo Jun reflected for a moment, then nonchalantly scratched his face and replied, I've never touched those. Are they mandatory? That was truly a cringeworthy line from a veteran master who wanders around wearing nothing but shorts. The livestream screen showed Alpaca's face wide open in disbelief, his ugly mug when he panicked, and after a moment he recovered his voice. What? Seo Jun drifted in thought. Truth is he didn't use skills because he didn't know how, but saying that outright sounded pathetic, right? So he put on a confident smile and replied, I just don't really find them necessary. The chat was stunned by his coolness and didn't forget to poke fun at Alpaca. Crazy. Try copying that style. If an alpaca from the potato lab dares to brag he can beat someone barehanded, at least be able to do this. Meanwhile, he forced a smile at a loss for words. Since Seo Jun appeared, I just have this feeling everything's against me. The viewer count is climbing. Try to brace yourself a bit more. For the sake of the goal, Alpaca forced a bright smile and said, Anyway, the second part I'll do with Seo Jun is related to that skill. He played a video and asked, has anyone here seen a video like this before? In the video, 2 men were clashing swords with each other. The other's sword gradually cracked, and finally couldn't hold and shattered completely. A system notification appeared, weakness detected. Unlock skill requires quest, destroy 10 weapons by finding their fracture lines. 210. After watching, everyone was curious. Is he really going to try this? No way. What the heck is he doing? Alpaca continued explaining. Everyone knows the concept of a fracture line from fantasy novels, right? It's the weak seam that lets you easily split an object in 2. If I find 10 of those lines, the skill to locate weaknesses will unlock. Just then someone asked, so what then? He held up 2 fingers and said, so far I've found a total of 2 fracture lines. One is the willow sword that accidentally broke in the video we just watched. The other is the fracture line of a greatsword I learned about from a side quest NPC. Someone noticed something else. What kind of skill is this weakness detection skill anyway? But Alpaca wasn't clear. Beats me, it's the last skill I still haven't unlocked. Then his eyes flashed, but I heard Seo Jun say he thinks. With sparkling eyes, Alpaca turned his attention to the silent one. He might be able to find the pattern behind those fracture lines. As expected, the chat didn't believe it. Hey, don't crow too early. Quit hyping them up, man. Who the hell would know something like that? Is this new streamer some kind of grind god? For their reactions, he wasn't angry and soothed them. Oh, everyone calmed down a bit. Then, excited, he made an enticing proposal. Anyway, forget it. I bet we should make a wager on whether he can figure out that pattern before today's stream ends. The streaming platform has a channel point system. Points automatically accumulate just by watching live streams. A comment popped up. Alpaca, please play a horror game instead, and those points can be redeemed for chat effects or for making weird demands of the streamer. These points can't be cashed out. But there's another real reason viewers love them. Channel point predictions, where viewers bet points on the stream's outcome. The channel point prediction has started. A large screen appeared behind Alpaca. All right, I've given you all plenty of time to place bets. Take your time. Channel point prediction. Will he find 1 or 2 fracture lines by killing turtles during today's stream? Will he find 3 or 4? What nonsense is this? Will he fail like everyone else? Commenters said. Obviously, he won't find them. Pick the safe option. Someone angrily commented, what are those people betting the long shot thinking? After reading it, Seo Jun curiously asked, what's the safe option and what's the long shot? He answered the question, the safe option is the more likely result but pays very little. The long shot is for low probability bets, but if it hits it pays big. On the prediction board, everyone's bets were displayed. Will he find 1 or 2 fracture lines by killing turtles today? No. Will he find 3 or 4? What kind of nonsense is this? Will he fail like everyone else? No way, he's an alien with a third eye that sees fracture lines, from 4 lines upward. After a moment, he finally realized and asked with deadpan eyes, so betting that I find 4 or more counts as the long shot? The other person, a bit flustered, replied, As of now, yes, Seo Jun said into the camera. Everyone, if you all go all in on 4 or more, the payout is 100x. People didn't really believe it. Believe me, where does this overconfidence come from? How can he be so sure? Someone even donated more. The account Assassin Jome donated 10,001. I trusted Seo Jun and put all the points I've saved over 3 years on 4 or more. Am I crazy? I'm such a chicken. Seeing the donation, he calmly declared, "Ah, congratulations to you in advance. You're about to win a hefty payout, 100 times your bet." Finally, the assassination dawn began. An ancient castle rose in the night under the full moon. Blood splattered onto the ground. A deep slash struck Andre's face. The perpetrator grinned wildly, holding a sharp sword in his hand, his whole body trembling as he begged, "Boss, I'm sorry, please spare my life." But the sword lashed out and cut his face again. Perhaps the blood made the atmosphere and even the moonlight seem stained red. Lewis threatened, "Try to run. If you escape, I'll let you live." Hearing that, despite agony through his body, Andre still tried to flee to escape. Someone watching recognized the scene and added, "He's the son of Richard Neville, the ruler of the northeastern frontier." No wonder Seo Jun felt familiar. It's that kid from the video earlier. Alpaca raised an eyebrow and suggested, "First we should check his skills right." A sword materialized from thin air, an ordinary blade, craftsmanship not exceptional but without flaws. Supplier, Alpaca. After receiving the item, he jumped down to the ground, leaving him to chat with everyone. Listen up, even if you know exactly where to strike to break it, actually doing it isn't easy. Just reenacting that video is harder than a tanking challenge. In my experience, suddenly a pitiful scream rang out, jolting Alpaca wide awake. The owner of the scream was Andre, who was struck by Seo Jun from chest to abdomen and collapsed to the ground. It took him only a few seconds to finish off the target. The system notified, weakness detected. Unlock skill quest, destroy 10 weapons by finding their fracture lines. Progress 110. Everyone erupted at the sight. Huh, you said that was hard earlier. A true master indeed. Those who picked the safe option are about to collect the payout. Alpaca stepped closer, excitedly praising. As expected, you nailed it in one hit. Your level is clearly leagues above ours. Inwardly adding, I had to fail countless times before I managed to land one turtle kill. He chuckled and cautioned, but you know this method still isn't fully proven, right? The other calmly replied, that's true, but now it's certain. Hearing that, Alpaca asked, puzzled, certain about what? Seo Jun's mouth curved into a smile. That the pattern I figured out is completely correct. That cool line earned many snarky but realistic comments. Quit the boasting. Yeah, sure. Watch out or you'll get scammed. He forced a smile and warned, everyone calm down. Please don't be so harsh to Seo Jun. Suddenly cavalrymen appeared shouting, intruder. The intruder had arrived, but facing such danger he just smiled and said, all right, seeing is believing. I'll show you right now. Seo Jun's eyes darkened and sharpened. A weakness that could be utterly destroyed. Something people say only certain Linji High monks who reached clairvoyance in past lives could perceive. Although my martial skill was high then, I wasn't a monk, so I couldn't see it. Yet even so, I can perform something similar. Images from a past life flashed continuously. Just like back then, I only need to grasp the opponent's intent, the intent of whoever created it. All I need is to catch that intent. While he closed his eyes to recall and concentrate, the chat had no clue. Why are you closing your eyes like that? Are you giving up? With vision unused, Seo Jun's other senses became extremely sharp, allowing him to easily block the cavalryman's shield. The cavalryman flinched, realizing something. The sword slashed across diagonally, and everything suddenly fell silent. Alpaca stood behind, dumbfounded, watching. Then a crack appeared. His next sword swing literally shattered the cavalryman. Chunks of stone flew past the man's gaping, astonished face. Alpaca was so excited his face flushed. He's absolutely insane. While he gaped in admiration, the chat erupted. He actually did that. What the hell did I just witness? Alpaca rubbed his head and blurted. He found it, and he did it with his eyes shut. What the hell is this? Is he actually a monster? Others quickly chimed in. No way, not being serious. What on earth is he seeing? This is genuine genius level. He couldn't contain his excitement and ran up to the other, asking, No, Seo Jun, how the hell did you do that? Suddenly a snide remark drew their attention. Despite donating, the user was vicious. Account O Come On Staged donated 1001. Weren't you two prepping this yesterday? This obvious setup is disgusting. That comment sent Alpaca into a furious rebuttal right away. Staged? No way. I thought Seo Jun was just boasting, but damn, he's peak level. The chat spiraled over the recent event. Those who picked safe bets are screwed. Streamer fake. Apologize. Scam, scam, scam. Streamer, that's my tuition money, have mercy. Is this real? This truth hurts. Life seems like a joke and the joke seems real. Told you to trust the anonymous lord. Boycott fake streamer. Seo Jun casually rubbed salt in their wounds. I told you to trust me and bet. One viewer couldn't take it and cried out, "Too late, man." Suddenly he remembered something and gave a strange half-smile. It's not just the safe bettors who are about to get wrecked, right? Seo Jun slowly recalled the prediction board Alpaca had shown earlier. On today's stream he'd get lucky and find 1 or 2 cracks at most, not 3 or 4. And the anonymous lord would go home empty-handed like everyone else. Then he breathed out calmly. No bait, no payout. Only 1% of you guessed I'd find 4 or more. Are you all in this chat the 1%? At that, the audience showed a mix of reactions. We're doomed, isn't it? Well, at least we're all doomed together. You call that luck? Seo Jun couldn't help laughing loud. These people only needed not to be the only losers. It's a common Korean mindset. Alpaca sighed inwardly. This kid teases the audience yet still guides the flow so they don't resent him. Not only is he good at games, he also has streamer charisma, so I won't have to struggle carrying streams by myself anymore. With that thought, Alpaca cheerfully waved to Seo Jun's viewers. All right, everyone calm down a bit. Seo Jun, how did you get so good? Spill it for us. The viewers, hearing that, got excited and chaotic. So curious, how did he train to that level? What's his real job in real life? Really curious about his profession. Seo Jun didn't hesitate and said plainly, "First off, I'm just a regular guy in my 20s. That frank answer shocked Alpaca to the core. In the next instant, he erupted loudly. Stop lying, where's your normal? Recalling when Seo Jun had introduced himself before entering the game. My name is Shin Seo Jun. Alpaca growled in anger. That face is not normal, don't fib. That overreaction confused the viewers. Is Seo Jun that handsome? Catching that comment, Alpaca hurriedly went theatrically solemn. Everyone, Seo Jun's live look is his real face, no filters at all. Seconds after that remark, a stream of comments flashed by. No way, the devs aren't going to rebalance this. Wow, handsome and op, this is broken, folks. Suddenly the system launched fireworks to highlight a comment. Donor 10,001, there has to be something small hidden. I swear. The donation used to broadcast that viewers thought left Alpaca standing still for a few seconds, before he snapped his teeth and said, I get it, I totally get it. Alpaca's menacing look got the audience hyped. Is he about to ban them? Definitely getting the ban hammer. Then the system again announced another 10,001 donation from that account. Wood-brained. Alpaca, not happy, ground his teeth like he wanted to troll. Seo Jun, should I ban them now? Seo Jun, dazed watching the show, had to hold back that little chihuahua person. Nah, it's fine. The comment didn't bother him at all. Given that cue, Alpaca glared at the chat and threatened. I'll let it slide this time. Suddenly, an unexpected comment popped up. Admin just walked by with a knife. It turned out that while Alpaca was fuming in-game, Suhen was calmly bantering with that user in chat. Do you know the name of this knife? Behave now. The hilarious scene sent the commentators into fits of amusement. Look at his reflex of donating to buy his way out. Only then did Seo Jun clear his throat and suggest, all right, back to the game. Alpaca took that chance to clap once, then turned to him and said, Seo Jun, how did you do that? I honestly couldn't see any weakness. He tilted his head in bafflement. How come? Under the audience's curious gazes, Seo Jun coughed nervously from the tension, then revealed his blank expression to appear mysterious. I just knew because I'm a genius. That simple line made Alpaca itch in the ears like crazy, and nearly everyone watching, including the admin, froze. What's the secret? A few minutes had to pass before the commentators snapped out of it and joked at Alpaca's dumbfounded face. Look at Alpaca's face. Seeing the laughter aimed at him, he trembled and pleaded, Please don't do that. Have mercy on us. Unexpectedly, Seo Jun, oblivious to his suffering, calmly added, I was just trying to put myself in the devs' shoes to see what they'd do. The simple statement made Alpaca jump. You mean you read the devs' minds just by looking at 2 examples? Then Seo Jun adorably fell quiet to choose his words and addressed Alpaca's doubt. Yes, for example, the block mechanic is meant for clearing normal mobs, right? Landing a hit on a fracture line is even harder. And even if you succeed, it only breaks the weapon rather than doing extra damage. In short, there's no need to use the fracture system on normal mobs. How do you make it easier to jump higher? Seo Jun's point was to see the big picture and pick the best option to rank up, which earned him genuine praise from the commentator. Oh, sharp thinking. Unfazed by the comment, Seo Jun continued his speech. So there's only one answer. The fracture system is reserved for boss fights. The logical explanation excited Alpaca, who muttered, Makes sense, bosses are definitely tougher and can't be defeated just by blocking, especially Drake. Wanting everyone to think he's a deep madman, Seo Jun suddenly declared, Speaking of which, I'll try to kill the possession right now, which sent the audience into a panic. Ah, no, the underdog bettors are screaming. At this rate, they'll lose all their channel points. Please, go find something safe first before dealing with the possession. Devilish Seo-jun smiled at the crying icons, then turned back to the blonde-headed guy opposite him. Alpaca, let's do another channel points prediction bet. When he revealed his cluelessness, what? He casually voiced the thought in his head. Can I destroy the possession's gear today? Then opened the status update system. The channel points prediction bet began. Prediction, Shin Seo-jun will destroy the possession's equipment today. After setting everything up, Seo-jun said to the viewers, "You know the rules, right? Just trust me and follow along." A moment later, some ancient building endured a monstrous barrage of attacks. When the bright smoke drifted away, two towering figures bizarrely appeared. Richard Neville roared in fury, letting his voice echo into the sky. "I will take your head to avenge my son." His eyes brimmed with reckless hatred as he stared at the still-breathing opponent. As Richard Neville lunged at his foe, Seo-jun smoothly tilted his body and evaded the man's slashing strike. While the opponent hadn't yet recovered, he slipped his blade to jab sharply at Richard Neville's greatsword. But the man only glanced at his sword and muttered, "What trick are you using already?" No sooner had he finished than Richard Neville swung at Seo-jun, making even Alpaca, watching from the sidelines, break into a cold sweat. "This time I still can't find any weakness. It's taking a while, huh? Could it be he really can't find one?" The viewers speculated. Before that thought could settle, Seo-jun's sarcastic voice cut through. "You just thought I couldn't find one, didn't you?" Caught off guard, Alpaca sheepishly replied, "Huh, I'm watching from so far away, how did you know?" Spot on. That comical look made the audience display every emotion. "Caught red-handed, you can tell it's over." "Damn, we're screwed." "Anonymous Lord, be careful sneaking around at night." Alpaca felt a chill and screamed out. Someone said Richard Neville's weapon was made of a special material that might not even have a weakness. Having assumed a stance, Seo-jun murmured coldly, "Oh, really?" He silently searched for lethal weak points on the man, then softly said, "Not unlike a death aura, let me check if it truly has none." Just as Richard Neville raised his sword to finish off his opponent, Seo-jun calmly ran up and slipped his blade between the big man's sword. The sight enraged the man, who roared, "How many times are you going to use that trick? It won't work on me." Unexpectedly, Seo-jun ignored the man's words and drove his blade hard into the end of the sword Richard Neville held, then quickly drew a slashing cut upward from that point straight to the man's shoulder. The image shocked Alpaca to the core. It hit, and it's not done. While everyone was still absorbed in thought, Seo-jun swung his blade down across Richard Neville's body. When the sword finally reached the man's thigh, he bolted away to another spot. With that simple sequence, the system promptly displayed a report. Skill acquisition mission, weakness detection, unlock condition, destroy weapons 10 times via fracture technique. Count, 410. A series of notifications followed in succession. 510, 610, 710, 810, 910. As the system reached that count, Seo-jun heard the armor of Richard Neville crack. While Alpaca and the viewers were still stunned by Seo-jun's aura farming. What on earth is this? He went dead silent and listened to Richard Neville spurt blood, because that was also the moment the system hijacked the sound to announce. 1010. Skill weakness detection was confirmed. A hidden image quickly flashed before Seo-jun's eyes, making him involuntarily let out an ah. Under the puzzled stares of the onlookers, Seo-jun casually revealed a calm expression and said, "I was wrong. The sword truly has no weakness, but his body does." After who knows how long passed, the real-world VR pod slowly opened. Seo-jun woke up, sat bolt upright inside, but before he could take a second breath, Suhan had already bowed solemnly, "Boss, you're insanely amazing." The loud praise made Seo-jun a bit embarrassed. "Still here? He really hasn't left yet." He hurried out, scratched his head, and said, "Thanks for letting me borrow the pod." Lee Suhan stayed in his pose and replied seriously, "No problem. I'm the one who should thank you, boss." But a moment later, he dove in to hug his rig and cooed, "My pod probably learned a lot from this experience, too." The gesture not only gave Seo-jun a headache and goosebumps, but even the sentient pod would say, "I'm getting goosebumps, too." After a while, seeing dusk fall, Seo-jun decided to step into the living room. "Huh, what's this? You still haven't left." Ti-woo leisurely ate a chocolate and then excitedly continued, "I turned off my stream. I wasn't going to miss this collab for anything. You're the one who needs to get moving fast." Hearing that made Seo-jun raise a puzzled brow. "Get moving where?" Then a split second later, he forgot the teasing and changed the subject. "Oh, right." At the same time, Alpaca's chat started erupting. "Alpaca, go hide your face. Get out, no one wants to see that boring mug. Get him out, bring Seo-jun here now, who needs you. Cover him up, take that ugly face away." We didn't come here to watch you, go play somewhere else. The audience's hostile reaction made him quickly show himself. Please, everyone, calm down first. Unexpectedly, someone didn't bother to be polite and told Alpaca to shut up. Shut your mouth, Alpaca. But when the light from his phone flashed on, a surge of confidence welled up and he quickly regained his public composure. All right, he looks ready. Please warmly welcome Shin Seo-jun. Alpaca's door slowly opened, letting a beam of light into the dim interior. Except for Alpaca's smug face, everyone else started reeling at Seo-jun's almost angelic beauty. Hello everyone, this is my first time meeting you all in person. The man had flawless looks, truly handsome, a perfect face, no filter needed. He gave a gentle, sunny smile and politely said, I'm Shin Seo-jun, a travel streamer. A moment later, Alpaca pulled him to sit beside him and cheerfully sold him off. So, what do you all think? Seo-jun is really handsome, right? The audience, having gaped at Seo-jun's otherworldly handsomeness, immediately started mocking Alpaca. How is he this handsome in real life? This is so unfair to Alpaca, that's life. Even if Alpaca trimmed his eyes, nose, and jaw, he'd still look hideous. Oh, come on, he's deeply wounded now. He hurriedly protested in desperation. Hey, in real life I look pretty damn good too. I've just put on a bit of weight lately. The commentators didn't hold back their roasting, making Seo-jun swallow nervously. That's what you call just a little weight gain? Are you sure it's only weight? Poor guy getting roasted out of nowhere. Why pick a fight you know you're going to lose? It's fine, we're not watching his stream for his looks anyway. Hearing that, Alpaca knew he'd lost this battle and weakly replied, Thanks a lot. I'll go get my stuff ready then. A comment quickly popped up on screen. Alpaca's running away. Seo-jun had to switch gears fast to engage viewers. He's just going to make dinner. Next activity, we're going out to celebrate. Before he could lean back to relax, the system suddenly announced. Oppa donated 50,000 won and attached a gushy, sincere message. Oppa, I love you. Seo-jun sat up embarrassed, scratched his head, and said, Thanks, but are you a girl or what? No answer came before a flood of female fans' comments poured in. Cut it out. Oppa, you monkey. At that moment, the system shot off fireworks again. Me Too donated 50,000 won, making Seo-jun frown with suspicion. But that donor asked earnestly, I want to learn the weakness detection skill. Could you show a few more movement examples? Other viewers quickly dropped the old topic and commented, For real. That was epic. Thanks to that, Seo-jun had a chance to lean back and think how to explain before answering. He began to rewind his memory to the moment he went still, while fighting Richard Neville. Seo-jun spoke up calmly and confidently. Weakness detection. It's a skill that targets weak points, allowing you to destroy equipment by slashing along marked lines. The one-of-a-kind explanation left the audience dumbfounded. How did he break Richard Neville's pauldron during the fight? Hitting the weak spot on regular NPC armor is hard enough, and this was a possession. Seo-jun waited until the viewers' reactions heated up, then doused them with cold water. No way, I'm revealing it for free. Tune in next time. If you want more examples, watch my stream tomorrow. As the viewers laughed and joked, quick self-promo right there. Respect. He steered the conversation elsewhere. All right, next question. Ask anything on the topic. The next question popped up immediately. Exactly what is an order fragment? Seo-jun read it and answered without thinking. What? I'm not really sure about that myself. He continued the routine of reading questions and answering sincerely. How do you usually exercise? I mainly run. Why are they curious about this? Why did you choose an assassin game for your first stream? A friend recommended it. At that, the audience scrambled to get more info. Oh, sounds like a good friend. Who is it? A little while later, a barbecue spread was quickly shown live for everyone to see. Having heard Seo-jun's Q&A, T-Woo winked at his phone and said, It was me. Once viewers learned the truth, they began digging for more. So that's why he didn't stream today. If his friend is that awesome, he should have invited him on earlier. How close are the two of them anyway? T-Woo happily draped an arm over his friend and said bluntly, We've been friends since high school, and we even live together now. The cheerful mood evaporated when T-Woo's regular viewers appeared. Oh, so Seo-jun is that roommate, that legendary character's name. As that comment appeared, T-Woo endured the scrutinizing looks from the three people eating with him and nervously covered his phone. What are you saying? As if pouring fuel on the fire, Noe donated 1,001 and attached an old clip. The move made T-Woo panic and shout, Hey, wait a minute. Before he could do anything, Seo-jun snatched the phone and opened the clip. In some past live, T-Woo casually started chatting with viewers. Guys, do you want to hear something hilarious? With that old clip titled during a live stream where only T-Woo was talking, he shared. So I told you I'm living with a friend, right? Normally, he's pretty decent, but sometimes he does the weirdest stuff. The other day, his phone got a bit dirty, so he took it and scrubbed it with soap. I freaked out and asked what he was doing. He calmly said, "Isn't it waterproof?" Then he kept scrubbing, and I almost fainted. And yesterday, I told him to cool the pod with a fan. So he squatted beside the pod and pointed his fan at it. Like a good child, no wonder he fails sometimes. Ti-Woo's cheerful laughter echoed from the phone, making Seo-jun cast a murderous glance at him without looking away. He gently pinched the other's cheek with a clip. "You're the last course of tonight, kid." Ti-Woo's screams easily drew a burst of laughter from the audience and from Alpaca and Suhan. Time to throw a tantrum now. A few moments later, Ti-Woo sighed happily as he looked at his empty bowl. "That was a delicious meal, I'm stuffed." Alpaca couldn't help but speak up. "Thanks for the collab today, Seo-jun." He didn't show much expression like the others, but still nodded slightly in reply. "You worked hard too, Alpaca. I've learned a lot from you." The remark made him bashfully wave his hand repeatedly. "Oh no, I'm the one who learned more. By the way, Seo-jun, are you planning to start a YouTube channel?" The topic lit up his face. "Ah, yeah, but I'm still pretty amateur." When Alpaca kindly offered advice, "If you really want to do it, find an editor first." Seo-jun's blank look made him excitedly slam the table, then eagerly asked on the live stream, "If you want, I can introduce you to someone I know." Alpaca's joyful demeanor made Seo-jun blurt out, "Your acquaintance?" Only after the small apartment returned to quiet after the noisy meal, Seo-jun happily popped open a can of beer. He quickly took a swig before exhaling in relief. "This is so relaxing." Suddenly a thought flashed and Seo-jun stopped smiling. "Do I really need to do YouTube?" His mind immediately took him back to the end of that barbecue meal, when Alpaca shyly expressed his opinion. "Of course, your channel could grow even more, Seo-jun. The income from it can be pretty nice too. Whether a channel blows up largely depends on the editor's skill. Pod games are different from other games, so few editors know how to create highlights properly." Hearing that, Seo-jun turned to Alpaca's editor and asked, "So why did you become Alpaca's editor back then, Suhan?" He heard the question and happily shared. "I used to be an ordinary office worker, then by chance I saw Alpaca's stream. I saw he had talent but wouldn't upload videos, so his channel just sat stagnant. So I thought I could revive it, and took the initiative to contact him." The relatively short story made Ti-Woo exclaim a few times. "That must have been when he was still unknown, right? You actually quit your job for that?" Lee Suhan didn't hesitate to nod. "Yeah." He calmly scanned Alpaca's bright, naive face and cleared his throat. "I have a hunch. I just know Alpaca is going to become famous." Back in the present, Seo-jun watched the sunset slowly descend and started murmuring absent-mindedly, "An editor. If you want to succeed as a streamer, YouTube is a must. But my goal is to win the streaming championship." In a brief instant, Seo-jun found himself swept into a private stream of thoughts without realizing when. At first, he only planned to get a pod and then quit, but being a streamer turned out to be much more fun than he expected. He began to enjoy the feeling of laughing and meeting people. The viewers teasing, "You lazy guy can play games," made Seo-jun feel as delighted as a grandfather watching his grandkids play. Kids these days really know how to enjoy life. Then he remembered viewers angrily trying to pull him back when he calmly walked into a game script trap. How did everything end up so easily? Those warm, joyful moments left him momentarily stunned, before sighing and murmuring under the warm afternoon sun, "Is it because I'm lonely?" The breeze sobered Seo-jun up noticeably. Probably so. Falling peach blossoms drifted down and made his mood even heavier. Seo-jun began to recall moments from his past life. The feeling of remembering a past life was like having a homeland you long for but can never return to, no matter how much you yearn. Those thoughts left Seo-jun feeling vague and unsettled. "I don't know, maybe I should hit the gym to clear my head." The next morning at some gym, the thud of boxing echoed through the air. Inside, trainers watched intently as Seo-jun pummeled others with unexpectedly decisive punches. Each vicious strike left opponents sweating even if they managed to dodge. Yet Seo-jun casually retracted his hands and sighed comfortably. The sight gave Jae-hook goosebumps as he watched from the ring floor. He comes here to blow off steam again. It's strange, though. Those who got beaten by him always seem to look better afterward. Seo-jun suddenly became the body coach for the gym's trainees. Suddenly Dong-soo appeared from nowhere and called out, "Oh, manager." The 18-year-old, itching for sparring, now complained sadly, "How long do I have to keep running on this machine?" Jae-hook, busy observing Seo-jun's techniques, turned to comfort the kid. "Listen, you've only been here 2 weeks." Unexpectedly, Dong-soo lamented, "I've only done basic conditioning, but I still don't feel up to par. Coach, I'm a pro, you know." His risky tone made Jae-hook smirk and remind him, "Pro in the virtual world only, this is real life." Kid, be realistic. Failing to convince him, Dong-soo frowned and mulled it over. The coach insisted on training his real body, so, at this rate, I'll be stuck on this treadmill until next year's tournament. Like a running rat with no finish line. That primal fear promptly sent Dong-soo sprawling on the floor in a tantrum. I want to learn real combat moves, something thrilling. His outburst not only amused the other gym-goers, here we go again, but also shook Jae-hook's resolve as he began to say, this kid, seriously. All right, we'll do a quick sparring match today, okay? Can I pick my opponent? When Jae-hook casually replied, up to you, Dong-soo jumped for joy in the middle of the gym. Awesome. Those around them began to back away quickly. After all, nobody here was going to let him win easily. Suddenly, a confident voice rang out and stunned Dong-soo. Step in. He turned around slowly, a strange flutter of excitement rising in his chest. Dong-soo looked up at the newcomer who had called him and froze, thinking, isn't that the guy from yesterday's video? Min-hyun kept praising how good he was, so I checked him out. Recalling that moment, Dong-soo was shocked when the other shoved a phone in his face. Hey, look, he's seriously amazing. He didn't care then and just yelled in anger. Hey, buddy, move, you're blocking the screen. But then a surprising discovery made Dong-soo jump. Even Haein was impressed watching it. The string of strange reactions from everyone around dampened his mood. I thought it was normal, nothing special. But how did an unknown person even get in here? Dong-soo watched Seo-jun talking with the manager and grew curious. Is he the manager's friend? Suddenly he glanced away from Jae-hook and looked at Dong-soo, which made Dong-soo startle and take a step back. Dong-soo's classic act played dumb left Seo-jun visibly annoyed. So who should you choose? Feeling the other's stare fixed on him, he panicked inwardly. Oh man, why is he staring at me like that? At that moment, Jae-hook suddenly called Dong-soo over. Dong-soo, have you picked an opponent? Dong-soo stammered an embarrassed answer. Not yet, still deciding. Jae-hook immediately slapped his shoulder hard. Listen up, Dong-soo, sparring isn't about knocking someone out. For some reason, Jae-hook went into serious teaching mode. The point is to test techniques and improve skill. Dong-soo could only stand there thinking, why is he looking at me with that terrified look? But instead of taking Jae-hook's words seriously, he frowned and glanced to the side and began to eye Seo-jun's toned body. He's about the same size as me, doesn't look very muscular at a glance. This match should be an easy snack. When Jae-hook shook him hard, got it. Remember to be respectful, don't get overexcited. Though he heard none of it, Dong-soo cheerfully replied sincerely. Okay, I know, so then. Before I go and hurt myself, can I spar with that guy? That one-of-a-kind request left Jae-hook dumbfounded. What, with him? Dong-soo answered clearly and decisively. Yes. He couldn't hear the trainees murmuring nonsense. We want to spar with the game god. To advise him, Dong-soo, do you want to rethink this? Plenty of others want to fight you. But Dong-soo ignored them and boldly asked the other. Is it rude to ask for a spar right after meeting someone? Seeing the impatient young horse refusing to back down, Jae-hook hurriedly lowered his voice. Oh, right, that's a very rude and thoughtless proposal. That guy is. Before he could finish, Seo-jun cleared his throat in greeting. Hello, I heard that. You want to spar with me? Dong-soo, who had eagerly offered first, stepped up at once. Oh, really, I like you a lot. You're Seo-jun, right? The question left him baffled. How do you know my name? He babbled without pausing for breath. I watched your stream yesterday. Oh, can I call you Big Brother? Seo-jun inwardly blushed. This kid reminds me so much of T-Woo. Before he could hesitate, he answered with an embarrassed smile. Sure, whatever. Urged on by Dong-soo. So shall we get on the ring? The two young fighters quickly got their gear ready to step into the arena. Dong-soo, staring at Seo-jun's composed demeanor, couldn't help but start chatting. Hey, bro. He dropped his gaze and spoke like an overconfident novice. You're pretty good at games, but of course you're still not as good as me. Sensing the jab at his pride, Seo-jun merely muttered, Is that so? By the way, who are you? The naive question left Dong-soo dumbfounded. You mean you really don't know who I am? I'm the one and only game god, you don't know. The strange title made Seo-jun scratch his head in confusion. Game god, what's that? His cluelessness put a dark thought in Dong-soo's head. Wait a minute. He said he's just starting to play games, so why is Haein hyping up some unknown guy like that? A moment later, he sneered with an excited grin. I'll let you know after I beat you. Do you realize it's a huge honor to fight me? Hearing that, Seo-jun smoothly took a stance, ready for the uneven fight to come. Fine, let's go. Dong-soo bounced forward lightly as if warming up, not taking a newbie gamer too seriously, planning to be polite and go easy. Seo-jun switched into his classic sweep mode and launched a fist at Dong-soo's face while the other was still grinning in his own delusion. Take it easy. After a while, cold winds began to blow outside. Seo-jun had just taken a sip of banana milk when Ha-chun gently spoke up. Seo-jun, you should have gone easy on the kid earlier, right? He looks like a normal kid from his build. Seo-jun calmly replied as soon as he heard that. It's fine, Dad. His footwork shows promise. He's probably just working on conditioning right now. Ha-chun nodded sheepishly. I see. As his mind recalled the image of Jae-hook when Seo-jun knocked out Dong-soo with a single blow, his head spun. Oh, what a headache. Suddenly he remembered something and cleared his throat to ask, by the way, how's your live stream going these days? Seo-jun stared up at the blue sky and sighed softly. Yeah, everything's fine. His mature appearance did not reassure Ha-chun. If anything, it made him more uneasy. Well, times are safer now, so your mother and I don't forbid it like before. Is it really that hard to become famous as a streamer, son? Hearing Ti-woo say he can barely scrape together any viewers. Ha-chun took the chance to retell a light-hearted conversation he and his wife had with Seo-jun a few days earlier. Being a streamer isn't a job just anyone can do. He even mimicked his wife's voice for his son so he could get the point. Not a single viewer. He didn't consider that Seo-jun might resent Ti-woo for bragging to parents about him. Before Seo-jun could voice his thoughts, Ha-chun excitedly continued. So here's what I'm thinking. Why don't you try playing Planet Craft? The game is rumored. If it feels familiar, it's time for a checkup. When Seo-jun raised an eyebrow to show his concern. Is that still popular, Dad? What's that game even? I've never heard of it. Ha-chun couldn't help shouting. You call yourself a gamer and you don't know this game. You have to grind games like that to get views. So how many viewers do you have in your stream room right now? Seo-jun stood in silence for a few seconds before replying. About 440 viewers last time. Ha-chun froze at that news. Not reading his father's reaction, he updated. Today will probably be bigger. I already have 3,000 followers. He made his father spit out his banana milk. Seo-jun flinched aside in fear. Dad, keep your voice down. But Ha-chun ignored that and focused on the important part. 3,000 people, 3,000. His shouted exclamation echoed through the air. After that collab on the forums throughout the posts easily hit 30 interactions each, and no one was throwing shade at Seo-jun's cognition anymore. He lay back on the bed, analyzing those popularity metrics. Their presence in the community had clearly risen. Suddenly a ping rang, and he tapped his phone in confusion. It turned out Ti-woo had forwarded a post to Seo-jun with a message. Check this out, hilarious. Why is streamer Shin Seo-jun a hacker? The standards for this so-called fracture are vague. Besides Seo-jun, there's no other success case. If he's not on the dev team, he's definitely a hacker. I'm sure of it. Seo-jun went still for a few seconds after reading that trash content, before curling his lips into a mocking smile. He quietly pictured Ti-woo's ostentatious grin and couldn't help snorting. Reliable, huh? So this is what it feels like. After the laughter passed, Seo-jun frowned and dealt with the matter at hand. First, give them a report ticket, but a deeper thought suddenly struck, and he sat bolt upright. At this rate, do I have to do a live stream clarification after only 3 days on air? Because of that thought, Seo-jun dove into the VR rig. Spurred on by the article, he felt far more energized than usual. How many viewers will tune in today? Time passed without him noticing. The moment he announced on the stream system, I'm in, the live viewer count leapt. Meanwhile, in the real world, Bae-mo was going mad, pounding his fist on the table. He roared angrily. How did the weakness detection skill unlock already? That progression was designed to take at least a month. Kwok-hal waited for him to calm before replying. Exactly. In a game with so much to do, you'd have to get insanely lucky. See, I told you something was off, and you didn't even listen then. Fearing more barbs, Bae-mo shouted. You name-dropper, what did you just say? Kwok-hal quickly snapped back into his usual serious demeanor to focus on work. Calm down. Do you think I wanted this exposed? Hearing that strange wording, Bae-mo asked, bewildered. Exposed? What the hell are you talking about? Under his puzzled look, Kwok-hal opened his laptop and pushed it toward the curt boss. Look at this. Bae-mo mumbled in confusion as he looked at the screen. What is this? Kwok-hal video, the clip of him breaking Richard Neville's equipment. Bae-mo immediately watched Seo-jun's maneuver. Naturally, the glorious victory he achieved in those few seconds was shown clearly. Everything made Bae-mo's head spin. No, how can any of this make sense? Could it be that he hit a bug and accidentally got the weakness detection skill? At that suggestion, Kwok-hal immediately denied it. We've checked that to death. There are no bugs. That only made Bae-mo more frantic. Then what is it? Because of his boss's bewilderment, Kwok-hal slipped into detective mode as a fellow player and newfound fan of Seo-jun from the livestream. Let me explain. It seems he grasped the rule on the very first attempt. And that rule is the standardized sword trajectory that our team spent months grinding to design. Even a normal player wouldn't dream of seeing through it easily. Yet Seo Jun figured it out instantly and tore its pattern apart. In short, even from a game developer's perspective, he's 100% not a hacker. Anyone who dares mess with Seo Jun is basically picking a fight with me. And oh, he's absolutely top tier. Long live Seo Jun. Kwok Hal's extravagant praise was cut off almost immediately by Bei Mo. All right, okay, enough. What are we going to do now? Unexpectedly, he calmly cleared his throat and pointed. Do what? I'm not done praising him yet. His composed, superior air made Bei Mo erupt in anger. What do you mean, do what? Don't you know if the fragments drop early, we're all ruined? How can you be so nonchalant? While Kwok Hal cheerfully fulfilled his role as a developer, Bei Mo, who bore more responsibilities, naturally had more worries than the others. Order fragments. They were one of the items we planted to tease the next game. According to plan, when players collect all the fragments, a short quest chain will be triggered. At that point, players who complete the chain will see the reveal, and the company's teaser video will drop right then. It's an extremely natural marketing move, but one that Bei Mo had calculated with extreme care. Yet his perfect plan collapsed bitterly. Because of a single gamer, it nearly broke Bei Mo. Trying to salvage his wounded pride, he cleared his throat and asked Kwok Hal, "How long do we expect to finish the trailer for the new game?" The other replied, 1 month, and he frowned and asked further, "What if the whole team pulls all-nighters from today and works like maniacs?" Kwok Hal went quiet to calculate for a few seconds before giving a vague answer. "Maybe about a week." Bei Mo nervously rubbed his hands and asked in a low voice, "So what's the chance that Streamer Guy collects all the order fragments within that time?" With overconfidence, Kwok Hal quickly answered cheerfully without thinking, "I can guarantee this, boss. 100%. On top of that, he said it in a tone so self-assured that Bei Mo, already desperate, snapped into a rage. In an instant, he growled through clenched teeth, You useless piece of trash." Then unexpectedly shouted so the whole company could hear him, "Get out right now." After kicking Kwok Hal out of the room, Bei Mo slumped back in his chair and sighed. But his eyes couldn't help staring forward, where the final stage fight between Seo Jun and Richard Neville was frozen on the laptop. No way. How is this possible? How did he pull off that move? Tension mounted, and Bei Mo angrily typed on the keyboard. But just moments later, he had to stop all activity, as he was dizzy from Seo Jun's swordplay. Just admit it, this is kind of. Bei Mo suddenly hit replay on Seo Jun's battle video. He watched the view count climb and didn't hesitate to watch it again. Seo Jun carried an aura like a classic swordsman of old, which made Bei Mo curious enough to search his name online, only to get pulled into Seo Jun's cool gameplay clips. Combined with that unpredictable, deadly demeanor, Bei Mo seemed to spark a new delight, hiding an excited smile. So badass. He happily scrolled and murmured, "The idea of using troops to pressure Richard Neville was mine. Didn't expect it to be revealed like this." Suddenly, still in his feverish state, Bei Mo realized it was 3:21 a.m. Oh my, is it this late already? How long has it been since I felt this satisfied? Seeing players enjoy the game he poured his heart into in their own unique way, and watching viewers gape like, "Wait, you can play like that." Seeing players enjoy the game he poured his heart into in their own unique way, and watching viewers gape like, "Wait, you can play like that." Those thoughts made him smile in satisfied contentment. Bei Mo immediately did something he rarely did. He followed Seo Jun online. Almost instantly, Seo Jun's new stream was bumped up with the title, "Thanks for 1,700 followers." When the live officially started, someone shouted excitedly, "He's live, let's go team." Moments later, Seo Jun's handsome, expressionless face appeared. "Hello, everyone." Comments began streaming. "Hey, what kind of stream title is that?" The scene made him a little awkward. As views rose, the chat sped up insanely. "Ah, that's why I prepared this." Right after he DM'd, Jom, aka the assassin Chosun, quickly showed up. Along with him came Patient riding a white horse, and Winter Fortress, truly the ideal team. Seeing the three online, Seo Jun lowered his voice to call roll. "Is everyone here? From now on, these guys will be chat moderators." No sooner had he finished than the three showed loyalty. "Leave it to us. Jom, the 25 million point hero, will moderate strictly." "Hail Seo Jun, King Seo Jun, Great Seo Jun is the best." "Yes, sir. I'll do my best," which gave viewers a good laugh watching this notorious trolling crew. Yet he explained seriously, "These are people who have been with me since my early streams. When I asked them to be mods, they all volunteered gladly." He recalled their playful early comments, which were fine. "Watching a newbie's goofy antics has its own charm. No, I think those moves weren't luck, really top tier." He remembered that amusing chat when he asked those three fans for help. "Yes, I think I can be a chat mod. Thanks for trusting us." "Oh, are you serious?" Seo Jun snorted, remembering except for the deity thief who steals bricks from public toilets, who was still silent and hadn't replied. And here are the channel rules, skim through them. Seo Jun pressed something, and the stream system issued a flurry of new notifications to viewers. Notice, keep chat focused on stream-related topics. If you see toxic users, don't argue in chat, report them to mods. You know what not to do, right? The fastest readers in chat quickly replied. In short, behave responsibly, got it. So what does the stream title even mean? That final question made Seo Jun raise an eyebrow and say, "Ah, about that. It seems quite a few people are skeptical about how I found the weakness. That's my fault. I didn't explain it clearly, so I'm sorry." Rarely does someone apologize sincerely only to be torn apart by viewers who can't be argued with. Your face doesn't show an ounce of remorse. So how did you find the weakness? Oh, he's back. Never mind, I'm screenshotting this. Seo Jun paid no mind to those comments and focused on the main point. I simply connected the matching lines between similar gear parts so it's easier to slash. I figured even if I explained, people would still call it a server hack, so I reported myself to be safe. His one-of-a-kind announcement sent the chat into a frenzy. What? You reported yourself? Seo Jun quickly showed the email he'd sent to the game company earlier. I must have accidentally triggered a hack without knowing. It seems I accidentally used a hack without realizing it. Could you please check for me? It made everyone laugh out loud. What kind of nonsense is this? That's insane. So that's why the god confessed. Oh wow, forcing the game company to prove his innocence, epic. Those praises made Seo Jun suddenly proud. He folded his arms and smiled. Now I've explained clearly, right? Unexpectedly, the viewers didn't nod in agreement but continued spouting laughter in chat. Explain what? Slick excuses. But credit where it's due, that move worked. Truly a calm madman. This is the real livestream genius. Seeing everyone so delighted, Seo Jun cheerfully clicked into the game. Okay then, I'll enter the game now. Today's livestream will be. Suddenly a pending notification made him freeze. Oh, there's a mission invite. Thanks to the creators of Dawn Assassins. In front of Seo Jun, the company's exclusive system suddenly displayed a notice. Use weakness detection on the master of Atidius Tower. The notice was visible to viewers too, sending them into a frenzy. That's a million for sure, amazing. But what could the master of Atidius Tower have for weakness detection to work on? He isn't wearing gear. Aren't they talking about magic? Wait, can you slice magic too? They know too much. Could that account really be the game's creator? Someone raised the doubt and Seo Jun nodded in agreement. That's true. He sank into private thought. The first mission with such a huge bonus. Unexpectedly, that thought took longer than any streamer could usually afford. While Seo Jun was taking the matter extremely seriously, could this really be the game creator? The viewers had a field day laughing at his over-seriousness. Hey, look at this handsome guy. This match is an easy win. Too sweet, so sweet. No way that's true. Why is our streamer so naive? The comment thread vanished quickly when Seo Jun pressed the spatial transfer button. Time passed, no one knew how long. Seo Jun had been transported to a city ruled by the mages of Atidius Tower, whose central ruler was the master of Atidius Tower, the Duke. Though outwardly dignified and rational, he showed no mercy when conducting experiments on human bodies. The moment he set foot in this gloomy city, Seo Jun bounded off, leaping everywhere. No one on the ground recognized his figure, until Seo Jun suddenly dropped to the ground with a thump, startling a girl so badly she nearly fainted. Overwhelmed with fear, she lost all strength, clung to the ground, and fled. I thought you were an assassin. Scared me to death, my heart nearly stopped. Even after seeing that funny scene, Seo Jun strolled down the street. All right then, let's go assassinate. Leaving viewers unsure whether to laugh or react sadly. Monster, cover your ears. If the creature heard that, it'd scream. Surviving in medieval times is so tough. Breaking into Atidius Tower through the front gate, this is genuinely thrilling. Someone asked, Seo Jun, do you know anything about Atidius Tower? Seeing that comment, he stopped to think. I worry a too formal playthrough would be boring, so I'll only look into the basics. Like come clear the stage with Seo Jun, so he responded with his blunt sincerity. Why not just climb straight to the rooftop? That frankness made the audience exclaim. So you're just going to charge in blindly again today? But isn't Atidius Tower a bit too tough for that? Seo Jun glanced at the pile of comments as he moved forward. He gently pushed open the huge gate blocking his path and murmured, let's just see how it goes. Seo Jun scanned the vast space inside the tower. Not knowing the way, he decided to tail a group of NPCs. Are those NPCs mages? Receiving no reply from viewers, Seo Jun continued aloud. There are fewer than I thought. Most of them are ordinary people. Only then did the audience chime in like a bustling market. Mages aren't rare. Floors 1 to 3 are basically a marketplace. The real challenge starts on floor 4. Seo Jun watched seriously as the mage's gate was passed by the guarded sentries. He read a few sparse comments. "Oh, this newbie's about to do something dumb again. Target those guards and take them out fast, we're bored." His analytic instincts from a past life surged. A silent chat means this is likely the route to floor 4. If he took the wrong way, chat would have been flooded with KKK by now. Dadian, standing guard, frowned and warned, "This area is off limits." He tightened his grip on his spear and calculated inwardly. "Just scare them a bit and they'll back off." As Dadian mouthed the rehearsed line, "No entry without a token." Seo Jun quietly sliced the arm poised to strike. The swift move stopped him from even letting out a pained bark, and he collapsed, watching Seo Jun stride regally through the gate. But after only a few steps, something gripped Seo Jun's legs. Not only that, his face couldn't turn normally to look around either. Everything closed in unexpectedly, filling him with anxiety. "What is this? My body won't move." As the tension rose, a disgusted laugh sounded directly behind Seo Jun. Valak appeared calmly with 2 fire orbs hovering in his hands. "You're out of luck, intruder." He said nothing further and hurled flames at Seo Jun. The sudden attack left him visibly stunned.